Jesus. Good hello, everybody. Welcome to the Invasion session 27, I think we're on. It is the 11th of November 2020. I am Ryan, the GM, and here are the players.
Hi guys, my name is Gregor. I play Adair, an Air Genasi, who knows what he is. God knows what he is this week. Could be anything, but he likes to talk a lot. So get ready for that.
My name's Dylan, and I'm playing seemingly two characters who are both human bards.
Good evening, my name is Alexander, and tonight I'll be playing Fleabite the Skaven, who's still pretty terrible at everything.
That's your job now, Bryn.
Oh, I wasn't sure what the order was. Hey, I'm Bryn. I'm playing Samuel, a child of the storm.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I'll be playing a new player, human witch hunter called Wyther'd.
Oh, Walter's skipping the queue, apparently. It's okay.
It's alright. You can handle it. Hello, I'm Colin. I will be playing Vanger, a wandering dwarven priest of a general sort of molderiness.
Yeah. No. Scully beware and such. Yep. Perfect.
I don't have an excess joke off the top of my head.
Yeah, good enough. Good enough. So
Personally, I think Colin should always go last.
Yeah.
He's got the right voice for a perfect conclusion.
I see.
Oh, that's very kind.
Too kind. What are you after? Like. So, what do you remember from last time?
Fleabite pulled.
There's a song called Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
I see.
And much like the opening lines of that song, the world is a vampire, and so are presumably some of the people in this city.
I see. I see. Okay, so we're still on that train. We're still on that train anyway. Okay.
Look, they're noblemen, they're spooky, it's a spooky city of night.
There's no windows in the building.
Yeah, this is all...
That one room that had no windows. Yeah, sorry.
Two rooms.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Those two rooms that had no windows. Yep.
So didn't eat in front of his guests. Suspicious.
It's polite.
No, it's not.
It keeps
Eat
it.
in front of your guests, they know that you're not poisoning them.
What if he didn't want you to know that though? Then it's polite not to eat in front of them. It's very rude to die in front of your guests that you're trying to poison. Anything else that you remember?
200. We get paid a lot during a day.
Wasn't it
Yeah.
200k per party member?
No.
Yes, I remember.
200k per party member. Like,
Yep.
if I just gave you 200k now, just as a group lump sum, you could easily just all retire. Like,
We wouldn't, but we might.
no,
I mean, that sounds pretty low amount to Fleabite.
Fleabite's loaded.
yeah, in
I do
copper maybe.
remember the best character introduction with John Gateman,
Yep, John Gateman. Yep. The-
and also in my notes, but I don't really remember why, a fine elm package.
What?
Fine elm package. Wasn't this because this was the entire reason you were talking to the noble lord himself?
Package, yes, which...
Because of his noble package, yes.
Yes.
Yep, we were that mature. Yep, this is why people
Offended.
come. Yep. I mean, sure, okay. Like, fair. I can't help but notice that the Discord order is distinctly from the straight to queer range, as well, which is...
Is it?
Yeah, I enjoy this. That's funny.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, am I maximum queer? On a scale of Adair to Walter, where does your character?
It's like a new Kinsey scale, right? Oh dear.
Maximum queer. That does sound like a parody.
To be fair though, it might also just become like eventually like a kid's Saturday morning cartoon hero, right? You know,
I think it's likely to be a Deadpool quote sometime in the future.
maximum queer. Yeah,
Maximum queer.
fair. I mean, arguably there was a lot of call for it in the last movie, and never come up sadly. So there's still time for the third one. Oh dear. But yes, if that's everything that is to be remembered, let us look at what goals are in play for now. Right, so general goals we've got. Kaz says use group to learn more about Barris. We've got find the missing package for Tonan. We have find out the circumstances around the big wedding, e.g. coerced, question mark. Find out what the package was, as opposed to is, I guess.
Yeah, was this?
Learn about the Von Rune family standing in Evershade. That's our general goals. And then our personal goals are become the face of the group. For Adair, we've got Castellan has save face with Lord Tonan. Fleabite has found a way to leave the spooky sister. Samuel doesn't have one yet because he's just joined us. Vanger has learn more about entering Barris, and also Walter is likewise to Samuel. So you two can keep in mind things that you might be interested in pursuing as well for the end of the game. Every time we get to the end of the session, we'll review what goals have happened and we'll replace all the blanks at the end of the sessions. That gives me the most time to, attempt to work on them during between sessions, I guess. During sessions, my secret's revealed. So yes, anybody that has made goals actually get any questions about the ones that are in place at the moment?
Should mine actually be changed from, well, not changed, but tweaked to become the face/voice of the group? Or are you happy with just face?
I mean, that means the same thing, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just wording.
Yeah, frontman is really the phrase, right? It's kind of what you're aiming for, being the frontman of the group. The Bono, if you will. And most of us went, yeah, I was waiting on that. No.
So many South Park jokes instantly. Just like, I'm number one. I was born in number 2.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
I'm not sure about the middle part, but yeah.
I haven't watched South Park in a long
I mean,
very long time.
I hear it's.
Is that because you keep rewatching Buffy?
You know, I haven't actually done that.
Adair, you've been warned, right? You've been warned. Why the B word, right? No.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Gregor, you beat me by 1 second.
Yep.
Ryan, we're always going to do it. It's not a thing.
I know. Yep. I know. Right. Anyway. Right. Let's dive right in, I guess, then. So, I guess you are pretty much kicked out of Lord Tonan's estate.
Presence. Oh, the whole estate.
Yeah, you're being. I mean, it's up to you. You can either be outside it, heading back to wherever in the town, or you can be just leaving the building. What do you prefer? Fleabite, I'll get to you.
Are we being escorted out by I forgot his name. Bear with me, I have it written down.
Mr.
Charles Stabbard. That dude.
What was that? Sorry, what was those words?
Charleston.
Charleston.
Stobard.
Yes.
I have it in a note. I'm like, I can see the face, but I can't find the names.
Charlatan
Anyway.
Stephen? No?
Charlie.
Charlie's
His name was
Theron,
Charlie.
of course.
Charlie, who's taking us to Candy Mountain. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. There is a bridge, I hear, on the way. Yes. Okay. Cool. So that's where yous are.
Yes. So are we being escorted out via him?
Yes. You've been led to the main hall, down some stairs, and to the big main doors that you're familiar with because you came in this way.
Mm-hmm. Any windows yet?
Of course there are. There's windows everywhere. They'll have very nice big curtains over them.
It's very dark outside anyway.
Yeah. Yep. It's the blessings of Evershade's beautiful climate.
See, I suspect if the windows have blackout blinds on them, that's a big giveaway.
No, but they do have big, obviously expensive looking curtains because it's a big expensive looking building.
It could be necro-tempered glass.
You know what? He's not wrong until you prove otherwise. It could be, right? So, yep. Here, this is. So yeah, what's the plan, guys? You are still devoid of flea bite.
Okay, in character then. Whereabouts is Fleabite? We probably shouldn't leave him here.
Where is our flea beat? He is part of group. He needs to be with.
Is you're asking Stobard?
Yes.
Yeah, and he kind of like stops very like on the spot, pivots, and says, "I believe your companion has been adopted by Lady Tonan."
So he is now part of family.
And then he says, "I would not deign to understand his fate." And then he pivots again and starts walking across the hall to the door.
Oh,
That's ominous.
but Mr. Stobart, we are needing our comrade. He is important member of group. We rely on the flea beat for doing the job of finding the Lord's package.
And then when he gets to the doors, he kind of pivots with his back against the doors, very dramatic again, like he always is. And says, "I believe Lord Tonan has employed," and he kind of gestures towards Vanger and then yourself, Adair, "for this particular undertaking. You only have 1 week to complete this, of course. I would not waste time."
Yes, of course. It's just we were understanding that our comrade would be joining us, but I see that we will be leaving him with his the adopted family.
And he just opens the doors. The kind of, cold air swirls in.
Upon walking past Stobard exiting, do I do this? Yeah. I'm just gonna.
It's always a comforting thing to hear, isn't it? Do I do this though?
I'm just gonna seize the sudden moment to stop and suddenly ask Stobard, "Hey, Mr. Stobard, I'm wondering, have you ever heard of the Von Run by any chance?"
And his nose twitches a bit like a rabbit's would. And he says, "Of course I have heard of the Von Run family and monarchy. They are guests for the wedding."
Ah, so they will be coming to the Evershades.
They are due to arrive in a few days.
Ah, this is good. I believe we are friends of the Von Run. The Richter, we have met many times, or once.
Now.
Can I roll to see if I know the Von runes?
You can do it with advantage because it's not particularly
Okay.
difficult
just
knowledge.
what
History.
would the roll be? History.
Yeah.
E.
Yeah. What would you like to know?
Well,
Everything.
Yeah, everything. I don't know. I'd like just to know of them, or like.
So
basically, it was. How should I respond to this?
So, Von Run is a king. Richter Von Run is a king of a country called Valeria, his city called Runestad, and he has defended his people quite impressively, it seems, from the invasion himself. You'll probably know enough to know that he is the one that has the claim to having rid the world of dragons as well.
So at the mention, Theo would just, his eyes would go mildly wide and say, "You are friends with the Von Runes?"
We are acquaintances.
He wouldn't say anything left or else, but he would have a surprised look on his face for a bit.
Mr. Stobart, do the Von Runes have nice big villa here in the Evershades?
I love the way you describe it as the Evershades, like it's some kind of like retirement home. Like,
That's kind of how I picture it, like
Yeah.
an old person's retirement home where, even though it's in the mountains, they all serve a full English breakfast.
mhm.
While he's asking about the retirement home, I would like to use Eyes to the Grave.
Okay, okay.
And I'm going to explain why. Because at first level, you gain the ability to occasionally sense the presence of the undead. As an action, you can open your awareness to magically detect undead. Until the end of your next turn, so presumably for 6 seconds, you know location of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover and isn't protected from divination magic.
Perfect. Yep.
Anyway, I just want to see if he's undead. I
Uh,
don't think he is.
What
I
does
think his
this
boss might be.
look like?
I don't know if it looks like much of anything, right?
We don't get like
Is it
crucifixes flying past your eyelids or anything, no?
No, I
Like-
mean it doesn't describe any sort of actions required, and it's not a spell.
Yeah, but this is where you get to have fun animating it. You know, you're the CG budget in this example. You know?
Okay, if someone were to look closely at him, perhaps his eyes would go very, very slightly darker for a moment. You know, because he's peering through the veil or whatever.
And yeah,
Based in chat.
doesn't look like he's undead at all.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Aye, harumph.
Mhm. As for Adair's question, Stillbird says the Von Rune guest party will be staying here at the estate.
So they are not having their own villa in the Evershade where they come and live.
Do you require this information to assist you in pursuing this missing package?
It would, once we have already got package, because we are this good, we are going to do it in super time. I was probably going to go say hello to old friend.
If you wish, I will inform him when he arrives that you wish an audience.
Oh, do not worry. I will do this myself when I am seeing him at the wedding, of
It
course.
is no bother at all.
Aha, that is good. And I walk out the door. Kinda.
I follow.
Yep.
And I will politely mutter, "Yes, it's good. Good day. Bye."
And then you just hear him kind of also say, kind of, grumbly, good day.
Theo will give a bow and follow.
And, Stillbird nods politely and closes the door. He's obviously walk down the estate towards the gates to leave. Any particular, less observed chat that you wish to have before he's, meet John Gateman?
I would like to just get a good sort of visual of the estate, like from the entrance to the courtyard.
You're gonna
to the
case
wall.
the place? Is that...
I'm not casing it. I'm just taking in the details.
Okay, what details would you like to be able to say you know?
Everything as if I was breaking in.
Okay, I see. Right, right, okay. So, I'll let you all investigate, and we'll see how much you can pull in, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. That's pretty
Good
good.
first roll tonight.
Right, so you can write down somewhere, I don't care where, but write down somewhere that, based on your observations, you can get advantage on something that makes sense if you try and break in. Okay?
Okay. Advantage on something.
Yes, so like if there's like a stealth check to avoid a specific thing, you can get advantage on that, but you can basically cash an advantage once based on your knowledge of having cased the place, right?
It's like
Okay.
inspiration to steal.
Yeah, it's more like inspiration to break in. I would never imply that he would then, steal something when he was inside.
Oh, sure, right,
That's,
right.
that's player agency.
I would never do such a thing, but I did like that jacket he was wearing.
I mean, fair, right?
Yeah.
It's a very nice
Well, you
jacket.
just need to wait for him to go to sleep during the day.
How can we ever tell when that is in such a cloudy place?
That's the difficulty.
Yup. So, while you are not having a conversation apparently on the way to the gatehouse to leave, we'll flash back to Fleabite.
Mm-hmm.
So as they were led out by Stillbard from that meeting room, you're obviously held close to Lady Tanan, and you're in that big drawing room with the fireplace at one side, and Lord Tonan silhouetted by it as he walks close, and you hear obviously Lady Tonan be like, "Brother, thank you so much for this gift. He's so adorable," and squeezes you tight again in your stomach. Probably not ideal since you've ate all that wax fruit. Yeah. Anything Fleabite wishes to do while he's in the warm embrace of his new master?
Peter.
I mean, I think seeing the rest of the group being escorted out, be a bit confused, be like, I think you would say,
Yes, blue wind thing go, must follow.
And then Lord Tanan, out of his sleeve, pulls out another handkerchief and just holds it up to his mouth, as if dabbing his upper lip slightly, and then just says, "Yes, Glint, please allow this unique creature to follow his companions." And you can just feel her grip tighter, and she's like you can hear the joy in her voice is just gone now, and she goes, "But you gave him to me. He's mine now." Anything else Fleabite wishes to do in this scenario?
I think probably just say,
Don't need go if more food.
And then, she kind of squeeze, which I'm not going to do. And, and by that I mean squeeze, as opposed to squeeze.
yes.
And she's like, "We have a whole kitchen full of food. Let's go!" And then just runs with you out of the door. Thank you. And yeah.
Bye.
So you're then, smacked through double doors as she's holding you, and led back to the kitchen area, where you're mostly just presented with various things to eat, just never ending. This may go on for some time, Fleabite.
I mean,
yeah.
worse fates have befallen Fleabite.
Yeah, very true. Yep.
For now.
Can you give me a Constitution save?
This is the problem with having a party member who is pure eat.
That's what you're talking about. Fleabite has all the eat, and everything else you could possibly need. Okay, yeah. So your stomach is a nice bloated. I want to say sated, but I don't really know if Fleabite has a concept of that. But yeah, you're at the point where maybe it's an effort to lift more food into your mouth. I think that's the part we're at. Sleepy after a meal. What's your plan? She's just stared at you the entire time with a massive grin on her face, huge eyes.
I think Fleabite would just say
Fleabite, eat much. Now, nest war and sleep time.
And she can smiles and starts clapping her hands again, excitedly. And she goes, "Let's go this way. I have a bed all made up for you." And then grabs you and just drags you down the corridor back to where you smashed the mirror in that room. And then yeah, you're just thrown on the big 4-poster double bed thing.
Has the mirror been cleaned up?
No.
Okay.
And then she says, "I'll come back for you when you wake up," and then leaves the room and closes the doors. And then you hear thunk. But you've basically been thrown on the double bed. Yeah, in a big bedroom, comfy bed. Yep.
Yeah, I presume the bed is pretty comfy.
Yeah.
Given her
affluence. Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably take a cursory glance around the room, not not looking at anything in particular, just looking around now that he's unsupervised for the first time.
It looks like a very fancy maybe guest bedroom, maybe it's her bedroom and she doesn't have a lot of personal effects, right? hard to say which.
Okay. Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, we did. Fleabite did eat a lot of brunch, and
Mm-hmm.
then a lot of a lot of this food. I would hazard a guess that it's probably mid afternoon.
Sure.
Because I know how much you love stating.
Yeah,
stating what
like
time
I
it
love
is.
confirming what time it is. Yep, you know that. 2 suns and all that. Yep, perfect.
So
Hmm.
it probably is like a good nap time.
Yeah.
And good food, warm, comfy.
Yeah, I mean, Fleabite's actually doing okay, I think, in Evershed. So
Yeah, Fleabite's doing amazing. He's the wealthiest. He's in with the right family.
Yep. Okay, you can just go for a nap if you want. Sound good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. You can let me know when I guess we wake you up. So
Or like, do you want me to roll anything for like sleep or?
no, you're welcome. Like there's nothing that's going to hinder that, right?
No, I meant for like how long.
No, it's more exciting if we do it this way.
Yes, you're right.
Yep. Knowing things definitively? Nah. Right. Okay, harsh cut to you guys having said your goodbyes to John Gateman. What's the plan?
I believe Adair would turn to the party once he knows that he's not within earshot of anyone. So turning to mainly Wagner, with Theo being present, and because he still doesn't know Theo. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no shade, Theo. No shade.
Yeah.
For the benefit of the
Ever.
newbies, it's Vanger. I'm giving up and I'm getting it right.
Yep.
Well, Adair would turn to Vanger and kind of go, do you think we are needing to get the flea bait back, or do we just try and do this with this Theo?
Well, it might be. Sorry, are you?
Like, go ahead. I'm wondering. You're saying this is this like specifically to Vanger, or is Theo hearing all of this?
I'm saying it kind of under my breath to Wagner, but you're present, so you could probably hear me without
Okay.
trouble.
Go ahead.
It's kind of like one of those. Do we need to get the flea beat, or do we use this Theo to help us? Whilst looking at you, I'd make eye contact at that moment. Kind of just be like, this Theo.
Well, I would have thought that you would have wanted to retrieve your little friend.
Well, normally this would be a good thing, but we are trying to stay in the good, how you say, book with the Lord Tonan.
I see what you're going for. He's an important man, and we've agreed to do work for him.
Da. So maybe we leave the flabit in the big palace kind of place with the food and the
Oh,
warm bed and the all the nice things. And the,
aye, but are you sure he's not going to end up being more of a problem in there than he would out here?
well, this is thing. Flibit normally would maybe try and how we say rock the boat, but I'm believing that in this case he's going to not rock the boat, but maybe just paddle for a while.
I think I follow your interesting metaphor there. I take what you're saying. Aye.
Aye.
No, that's a fair point. Might be best to attract a wee bit less attention. We're already standing out a bit.
It's true, and I am not thinking that we are going to get into the big battles here in the Evershades. The Flibbit is good for this, but I'm hoping we can avoid this in such a noble place.
Theo, what a perfect opportunity to segue in some perhaps colleagues of yours that might be good if you did get into a battle. What a perfect opportunity.
Don't worry.
We say you say it
Theo
like
would
that.
wait for you two to finish up.
Good luck.
Yeah. Theo equals Cass. You'll understand someday.
It's the same person. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, I thought so too. But, you know.
He went through the back, put a hat on, came back out, and was like,
You know, like, it's one of my favourite voices you do call it, and you never do it for a character, and it always upsets me. Like,
I think I would do that to myself.
But once you two had finished up your conversation, Theo would go, well, we have to talk business.
we do need to be talking of the business. Which business are we talking?
You need to hire my company.
Why are we needing to do this?
Well, I assume you would want help. And the two of you alone, I don't think you could do this. No offense, of course.
This sounds like challenge.
Well,
Right.
my company's name is on the line, and I'd rather not take the risk.
Well, you've
Okay.
been, well, yourself and what's her name, Cass,
Cass.
been very useful to us. You've helped us. You took us out for some sort of late morning, mid-afternoon meal.
Yes, brunch.
Aye,
Nope.
brunch.
Нет, makes no sense. Nope.
But you know, I can see the use of it. I'm personally a little bit concerned that what with you being blue and all, you're not going to pass for human, and I'm sort of
Well-
sizes himself up. About ye high, not quite sure what that is. But
It is not about being the human. Most of these peoples, they know of the Genesi. I believe
they
here
know
I
it.
am,
Exactly.
but this
Exactly.
means I am old and noble, and they are treating me like noble.
It also means you stand out more than anybody else in this place.
As someone who has made their job all about subtlety, you two are nothing but the opposite of that.
I see problem, but we might have solutions to this problem.
Well, I think we have a solution right in front of our face. Other company, we're being paid handsomely.
Wait, yet, don't say this. And even though he was in room, he might not have heard how much they are being paid.
I suppose he might not have heard, but let's not assume that he's deaf.
He would actually let out a laugh.
Perhaps we are willing to negotiate some sort of fee to help us look at package that. Well, to be fair, you have already failed in doing this. This is why he is hiring us.
It's no wrong.
And
But,
I guess you need to save face, as they say.
If
So
you're going
maybe
to bring in extra bodies, make sure, and I don't mean any offence, the poor sods that we saw out in the road, but they did get killed by some bats.
it's true.
Now, the bats were big bats, and I'll give you that. They were tough, but you know,
It is true.
he handled them. If,
Well,
it comes to,
freebie.
if there's an issue, I'd like to know that somebody capable had our back. You know.
And I can assure you, I myself would not be going on this mission. As mentioned previously, I am the admin to my organization. I would be sending you with another operative.
And who would this operative be, Pretel?
Gotta remember his name. 1 second. His name would be Xarxis.
Xarxes.
Xarxis. That's an interest.
I feel I'm going
He's
to have trouble with this name.
an interesting individual. But I assure you, you will know him as soon as you see him.
This sounds interesting. I'm wondering if this person is so good, why you not use him for first rung of package?
Well, so the package was coming from out of town, and he was in town. So the company organized transport via an outside company. Turns out we put too much preference on discretion and not enough on protection.
I seeing what you are saying.
You said something we would know him when we saw him. Now, am I to take from that this person is someone who also stands out a wee bit in this town?
Yes, you would actually be meeting him outside of town.
Right. Let's see.
Now wait, is this just going to be you?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just a joke.
I'm probably looking quite puzzled by that comment.
It's like just him in a different hat this time.
To be clear, Colin thinks that both the characters we played are the same person, but Vanguard doesn't.
Yeah, Adair doesn't. Gregor does. No.
Colin is like, yeah, I mean, same person playing it. Yeah, come on now. But Vanguard's like, well, they've got a different gender. Couldn't be the same person.
Oh, niet. You can tell the facial hair is totally different. Oh, thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
It's like from the minute I said it, I was like, oh, please, someone just do.
Totally different people. Yep.
Totally different. Isn't there a third one?
I can't find it though.
I cannot for the life of me remember their names. Let's do a minute. I'm so bad at names.
Well, should we perhaps do a bit of snooping around ourselves first, or do we want to go straight to meeting this person?
I'm believing with the time of day being what it is, whatever it is, we should be making way to meet this person.
Fuck
That's
you.
a good point. I have no idea what time it is either. Looks up at the sky. It's dark.
It's strange that in Evershade it's always dark.
As far as pay goes, though.
We shall discuss terms upon completion of job. This is the best way.
That's not quite how things work here in Evershade.
From what I'm gathering, not lots of people doing lots of work here in Evershade.
What?
Yep. Again, guys, not too late to back out. Yep. This is where we are. So good.
Adair's just trying to wind him up because he lost the package. So it's trying to make you look incompetent in a way, so as
He's
he can get a
nagging,
real
So
look.
you have to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, nonetheless, we need the money.
Well, let us maybe discuss the money once we meet this friend of yours who is able to help. I am not sure, based on previous decision of using people's you are never meetings to deliver package, I would prefer to meet who we intend to employ.
Aye, it's true. Those people get incomplete ideas.
Yeah.
Or very clever and just not very good in a fight. I don't know.
Scrambles to check intelligence scores. Yep.
Oh no! Don't look at mine.
I can't actually remember who my character's in is. Irrelevant. He's a cleric druid.
Anyway, harsh cut over to Fleabite, just snoozing away in a big comfy bed. Yup.
Speaking of, I found irrelevant.
Nice.
Fleabite there.
Not enough duvet, but yeah.
No, that would be true.
Oh dear. And yep.
Int. I have a 1 mod in int. I have +1 to smart.
I see.
So
Nah.
smart.
I do not.
I like that. Just no.
Reading into that.
I mean, I don't have a negative, but I do not have a plus.
Okay.
That leaves a
What?
wide range of options. I can't figure it out.
Well, as far as protection goes, beyond our operative, I can think of 2 other adventurers that have been looking for work lately. At least rumor has it.
And are they local to the Evershades, or are they travelers like us?
That's a very good question that I would probably know the answer to.
I give you a minute. It's fine.
Yeah, Theo. Consult your notes, Theo.
So let me open up my notebook real quick. What would my notebook have to say on this matter?
That's actually quite in character, though. I can imagine. Yeah, they're from.
Let me just check where the last invoice went. Yep.
Okay. Do the other 2 wish to answer this question so that what they think they would have told like Castellan and Theo regarding their own personal informations?
I think I would have said that the work of righteousness has come to a bit of a slowdown recently, and I would appreciate some work which had adequate remuneration.
There we go. And has been kicking around Evershade for a while, right, Walter?
Yeah, since my last operation in the field, I've been back in Evershade, being bored of not working.
Gotcha.
I think Samuel's been with you since that last operation, I think, from memory.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's your information. Apparently, you get unless Samuel's given you
Sure.
anything else.
I could always be found in the majestic magpie.
And Theo would say, not natives, but been here long enough to know most of the culture.
Aye,
Ah,
sounds good. On the subject of the culture,
Mhm.
it's always terribly dark. Is that not? You humans don't typically do well with the dark.
Well, we do what we can. I mean, it is the name of the city after all.
It's in there.
is
Still.
good. Is good market for oil burners here. Just saying.
Guy's about to make 200 a day for a week, and he's thinking about how to make more. What an entrepreneur!
Yeah. You know what? That's
Nope.
good. That's good. That's how you get to make 200 a week.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, let's meet your contacts, starting with what was his name again?
Not Xerxes.
No, not Xerxes. Okay,
This is Arxis.
Xerxes. Right. That is a distinctive name. Apparently not memorable, but distinctive.
Zarky. I like it.
No, I believe first we'll make a stop at the church.
Oh, the church.
Yes. Like I said, you want more adventurers for this? I
We are
believe they should be there.
we are
Right.
going to find adventurers in a church.
These ones.
Strange
What?
adventurers.
Who's Who's the church in worship of?
He consults his book and finds the answer is
Is this going to be Great Father or something?
No, the answer would be
No.
long abandoned, and now is just a social building.
Oh, it's
Ah,
a
it's
Weatherspoons.
Kirk.
It's a
It's a-
Weatherspoons.
Yes,
a political move.
They're called the Wyther'd spoons. I'll have you know,
Weatherspoon.
for legal reasons.
Rather than weathered, it's weather apostrophe D. Yeah.
All the I's are Y's. You know how it works.
I see. Old church. Not much for religion around these parts.
When you are this rich, do you really need to pray to gods?
I should bloody hope so.
He says to a man of God.
Listen,
Uh,
by the way,
wait,
one
is it
more
really
thing
the withered
about
spoon?
our column. Sorry.
I
Is it
just-
really the withered spoon?
Yeah, like
This-
why not? Why
okay.
not? Yeah, like it's this is a repeat joke. I used this in a one shot, the Withered Spoon, because
Oh,
they started
good.
in a tavern. So I was like, yep.
I see.
You
We
didn't
just
even need to tell us that. You could have got more mileage out of this.
no, it's recorded online, so I'm not gonna cheapen myself. It is.
And to the non-UK people, Weatherspoons is a very big brand of like pub here.
I'm just gonna go
I see.
further.
Beer, mediocre food.
I'm gonna go out there and say also scum
black.
management. Yeah, like so. Yeah, very bad
yes.
their staff. So
The owner is a prick.
yeah, never
The owner
frequent.
is Hitler.
I wouldn't
Yes,
go first.
yes, foreigners, everybody. Hitler has come back to run a franchise.
I don't like it.
Wait, that makes so much sense for the way they do their food.
Oh dear. No, moving on. Moving on.
They're not serious.
Going on.
So, screen wipe, right? There we go. Screen wipe.
Flea bite in his bed.
Nope. That's us. That
But-
we're heading to. We're gonna skip to the church, right? The withered spoon, because nope. Let's not waste any more time making comments that'll get my Twitch channel banned.
I don't consider that wasting time.
So, used to head to the church alone, I guess, since I assume Theo doesn't go there.
What? No, Theo was. Well, Theo would have walked them to the
Escorted.
church to show him where.
Okay, so is
And
the
then
plan to
he
meet
would've-
the other two first and then get
Yes.
Xerxes? Okay, cool. I must have mixed that up at some point, possibly because of all the Hitler running Witherspoons talk.
You
But
never know.
That wasn't even my fault.
I mean,
So we're clear.
yeah, this time, Colin. So
I
yeah,
know what Xerxes reminds me of. It's Jaraxis. Sorry, continue.
okay. Right. So, describe the scene for me then, Theo.
Well, it's an old building.
Well done.
Very church-like.
Yep.
It's got a graveyard in the back, as well as the relevant symbology in strategic places around it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
With a big wooden door in the front.
Fair.
Yes. How's that?
Yeah. Cool. What we're doing here? Tell the others. Set the scene.
Well, Theo would walk straight towards the church and open the door. As he expects that the two adventurers that he's looking for are here. As they always are when they're bored. He's choosing to tell them.
Yup. Apparently so. So do you follow? Do you go into this
Absolutely follow it.
spooky church of clearly
is
not
it
being stabbed in the back?
Is it a
Fine.
I mean, are there other people around?
I mean, yeah, why not?
I mean, if there's, it looks like a normal tavern that's been converted to a church. Then
I
yeah,
wouldn't say it looks like a
normal.
normal tavern. Not based on what we've described so far, but it probably looks like, you
Old
know,
building.
yeah, like, a tavern. Yeah, I'll give you that much. Yeah.
That's still going because it's a tavern. I've been to some seedy places before.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some good pub-based, god-based jokes to be made somewhere, but I've not got them yet, so we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah. hmm So,
And on
when-
the inside, you see rows of pews. If you want me to continue this description,
no, I'm good. I was
Oh, fair
I
enough.
was so off that description already. Yeah, I'm good, buddy. Don't worry. You're off the hook. So,
okay.
as the group of 3 people walk in, some heads turn, obviously, some grumbles from some of the patrons inside, and 2 very distinct-looking people who look like main characters stand out from the crowd because they've been animated with a slightly higher budget.
Rather giveaway.
We've got a
Yeah.
nice outline to them.
Yup. Do you want to describe what your characters look like for me? Do you want to go first, Samuel?
Yeah, cool. Samuel's not any bright fancy colors. He's human. Blonde hair, broad face, in full armor. You see there's a warhammer on his one side, kind of leant against his leg. On a further glance, you notice that there's little lines kind of tracing up his neck and it's onto his face. Look like scars. Yeah, he's fairly nondescript, to be honest. Tends to, like it could, very well armored, but could blend in many places. One of those faces you look at and you kind of trust, but then forget
Mm-hmm.
at the moment you move off it.
Makes sense. Yep. Perfect.
And Walter has long dark hair, is human, wearing a white shirt, leather breeches, leather boots, long leather jacket. He'll have his gloves on because he's in church, and that's why he considers more formal. And his rapier is in a scabbard because he's in church. But he's looking forward and looking at his companion Samuel with a look that says, "Please don't make me more than I have to."
Please don't what? Sorry, we kind of lost some of your audio there.
Yeah, a look that says, "Please don't make me stay here longer than I have to."
Yeah, perfect. It's probably just your sensitivity being so high that it cut out some of your syllables. But yep, perfect. So, Theo, you spot your 2.
I would quietly make my way towards there to not disrupt the other patrons.
Mm-hmm. They're all probably kind of half staring and talking about the fact that there's a blue person and a slightly more stout than human person.
Yeah, I would have the 2 wait at the door while I go got my other 2.
The minute you tell me to wait at the door, I'll head to the bar.
At a church.
In this tavern,
Okay.
church, yeah.
Tavern church.
Yep.
Tavern church.
Yep.
Former church, to be
Mhm.
clear.
Yep.
You said something in your description about there being iconography. Ryan, can
Yes.
I roll to see what that iconography is?
Yeah.
Yes. I get a roll. I cast religion purely.
Yeah, you know it's to do with a deity of some kind that may have been present at this church.
You suspect it's a church.
But it's just, some of it's just worn down too much to be like super overt, and it's also maybe just because it's like humanocentric, this religion, so it's maybe not as pertinent as a...
Look at something in the wall and go, aye, that's a human church.
Right? Yep.
Nodding to himself contentedly.
But you know it's...
Classic signs of human religion.
You know enough from your perusal in the full study that it's not the Storm Mother, at least. So that's
Okay.
something. Yep. Sorry, there you go.
Because, as I recall, she was more of a sort of rural deity.
Mhm.
I think I made a Shadow over Innsmouth joke.
Possibly. Rural. Okay, yeah. So,
I
thank
will
you.
actually wait at the door, though.
Okay, yeah, actually respectfully. Good man, dwarf. And yeah.
I'm at the bar.
Yep. You gonna order anything at the bar, or are you just gonna,
I am going to peruse the bar to see what their options are before the tender comes over.
Yeah, there's bottles with labels you can't read because they've all been worn off and reused so many times.
Refill their own.
Hmm.
Not what I expected for such a fancy place as Evershade.
Yep. So I mean, you've got some blank bottles if you want to just select the finest blank bottle. But yeah, you can wait
If
till the bartender turns up if you wish.
Yeah, I would wait till the bartender turns up. I'd have a look and kind of look at what people are drinking, how they're acting, but it's mainly more just to get the lay of the land kind of thing.
Yeah, it's mostly just people like clearly just milling their afternoon away. Quite frankly, seems to be more of a food serving place than just a bar, right? Good old
I
Wyther'd
got you.
spoon, right? You know, and the very very tiny, thin, frail waif of a woman turns up. You know, skin that looks like it may have in fact fitted perfectly a normal sized human lady at one point, but since she has gained age and withered, the skin seems excess now. And she walks up in front of you and says, "You're blue."
Indeed.
And your skin appears to be very saggy.
Aye, it is.
So now that we have established this, hello,
Is your coin gold?
you say again, sorries.
Is your coin gold?
Sometimes.
She says, like just starting to like tug at her ear randomly.
I do have some coin which is of the gold. I do
Then
have
you
some
can
coin
order
which is of-
what you want.
Well, what do you have? Your labels appear to be quite frayed and old, like you.
This is going swimmingly. I love it.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
And she turns round and she like, shuffles over and then goes to like lean up to the shelf with the bottles on it and then stops and then like shuffles away. This takes a long period of time for you. There where she gets like a stool and then shuffles all the way back, puts the stool down and then for a good 40 seconds negotiates trying to get her first foot onto the stool and then does and then kind of like pushes her centre of gravity up and then lifts 2 bottles down and then turns back round and shuffles back over and she puts both bottles on. She goes, "This one will cost you 5 gold and this one will cost you 10 gold, but it will taste the same."
Then I believe if I were to be purchasing the wine, I would go for the 5 gold.
A fine choice.
But tell me, how big is this? Actually, how big's the bottle?
It's like a complete standard sized bottle of wine.
Okay. What else do you do? Maybe instead of by bottle, but by a cup or mug or something.
She just looks at the bottle and just nudges it an inch across the bar towards you. You got the 5 gold bottle or the 10 gold bottle?
Well, aim with me, comrades. And I gesture, I point towards Theo, who I assume is at the table with the other 2.
Yeah, he's probably got like his back to you at this point in time, yeah. And we're about to cut to him in a moment, so yeah, yep, that can be his visual.
So, I'm with this group here. I'm about to be going over and joining. I believe we have tab open for table, huh?
You'll be wanting 2 bottles then. She puts the 2 bottles next to each other. That'll be 15 gold.
But I'm not. Wait, what? Why is 15 when? Okay. Anyway, milady, I believe we have tab open for table, da?
Don't know what a tab is, but if your gold is, taps the bottles.
I believe my comrade is going to settle up the bill at the end of our meetings.
Okay, so if you give me your 15 gold now, I'm sure he can settle that at the end too. Just taps the...
No, what I'm meaning is we can order drinks and we settle up bill at end of day.
I don't know where you do this, negotiating in Blue Town, but here in Old Town, she just stares at you. You pay first, then you enjoy.
I see. This is Old Town of the Evershades.
She just stares at you. Maybe kind of half not paying attention to you. maybe looking through you. We're not sure.
Tell you what, leave the wine for now. I will be coming back once I've decided if me and my comrades are going to be partaking in this wine.
He grumbles something under her breath and then lifts both bottles off the bar and then repeats the entire pantomime process of her trying to put them back on the shelf. So while we have that, we'll cut over to Theo actually approaching our two not so cheaply drawn characters.
So again, I'm confused. I thought like my contact is going to be Cass, and yeah, I'm confronted with Theo.
Yep. I'm sure Theo will have a very good explanation for that.
A stranger approaches me while I'm bored in church.
I mean, not necessarily. Like, perhaps Cass has introduced you to various colleagues within the organisation. Right? It may not just be Cass, but that's something that I think Theo will. I'm sure he'll get to it.
Oh, so, like, out of character, you know about the Intel conglomerate, right?
Yeah, vaguely.
It's the organization that Cass and Theo work for. Theo is typically the face of the organization, so it wouldn't surprise me if you have met.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so it's not super awkward that some rando approaches you, you know, considering it's about to get weirder. So.
And then never not get unweird. Yeah, so Theo would lean down and say, whisper into your ear, I believe we've found a job for you.
I'll look at you, and if I recognize you, I'll urgently pull Samuel's arm and say, it seems that humans have provided for the gods could not.
Yes. Cool.
So let us be done with this. Let us be done with this place. There's urgent work to attend to, I'm sure.
Sounds kind of look up at Theo. Nice to meet you. Sit down.
Theo.
Samuel.
Holds out his hand. Yes, I'm sorry we've never been formally introduced, but Cass has told me a lot about you.
This is my associate, Samuel.
Is Cass the person you mentioned who?
Yes, she queries information, so I have no doubt that this will be a lucrative opportunity for us both.
Yes, the patrons that are interested in hiring you are actually very wealthy.
See, noble work. I resist the temptation to say Nobel.
Nobel work, yes. I think at that point, Adair, you swagger up to them, right? Perfectly timed.
Sure, why not? Of course, I do not have any wine.
Of course you don't. No.
Just a question. Do you guys mind describing your characters quickly? Just so we can get like an image in my head.
Oh, it's been a while, but yes. So.
Good.
So I play. There we go. Very blue guy with a goatee, not a full beard. Maybe a bit stubbly sometimes on the side. Floppy hair, fancy jacket that's very worn though. He doesn't have a loot, I'm afraid. But he basically covers himself in trinkets that he thinks are desirable. Not necessarily wealthy, just what he likes. I am an Air Genasi. Genasi are known-ish in this world. So people kind of know what I am, but not properly. And yeah, oh, God, what age did I say I was?
I can't remember what age you are actually. Something like, are you maybe like 20
20s,
to 30? I was going to say, it should be on your sheet somewhere. For Samuel and Walter's benefit as well, the Air Genasi, or just the Genasi in general, were the ancients of this world. So they're, anyone that knows anything about world history to a degree knows the Genasi were the elder race, if you will. They are pretty much all like died out now. There's not even like tribes of them anymore. So the fact that there's an air genasi here is quite rare.
I have never come across another genasi.
Yeah. So it's quite a rarity.
No, sweet.
But only as a it's more of a novelty than a oh my god, this is a walking god, right? It's more just of a oh, that's unusual.
How much she just was?
So
Oh, I see a picture of Theo here. Oh, that's really cool.
yeah. Okay, and that's the two you can see so far. We'll get to Vanger. So the scene. Adair approaches.
So, yes, Adair walks up to the table and instantly just goes, "The wrinkled thing behind the bar. I'm not liking her." Miss Goose, I am Adair. Pleased to meet. I try to maybe get a bottle of wine for table, but wrinkled thing behind bar, she's not nice.
Fret not. I shall negotiate with the bartender, and I spin my hand out, holding my gloves in the other hand, and say, Walter Steinmeier.
Nice to meet you, Wyther'd.
If you have coin, I shall negotiate with the bartender forthwith.
Queen, I'm believing she is maybe more of the, how do you say, greedy wrinkled thing. The wine does not look this good, and she's asking a lot.
Ah, you're wise not to pay compliment.
Why would I compliment wrinkled thing?
Jesus Christ.
I'll look at Samuel and I'll just look back and then I'll look intensely at Theo like, what have you done?
Yeah, because keep in mind, guys, remember that he wanted to be the front man? Remember that, guys? Remember that goal? Yep. Yep, here we are.
It was summoning to himself.
Adair feels insulted. This is why he's doing it.
Of course. Yep.
This is your associate, Mr. Theo.
And my employer at the moment, actually.
We are yet to fully discuss this, but I believe this is case.
Well, I've already provided a service, but yes, there's details have yet to be worked out. Yes, Adhere here needs a few more bodies for an upcoming. Would you be interested?
Let us sit down and discuss the details, Mr. Theo and Mr. Adair. Samuel?
Please. Oh, let me gesture to Fred to come join us. And I start waving at Wagner.
By this point, Ranger has given up standing at the door and is probably gone to the bar.
Good.
And let a roll up.
Okay, yep. And do you order anything from the bar of anger?
He probably is like just above eye level with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, you'll be a little bit above it. Like
To be fair,
the
the bar isn't actually as tall as it would be in a normal bar because she is also tiny.
Right, so he's probably an okay height for it. Like, excuse me there.
And then she kind of raises like a gnarled finger up as if she'll be with you in a second, throws a rag over her shoulder, bends down, like hand goes straight to the small of her back because she's clearly just pulled something. Pulls out some kind of basket thing, starts like flicking through it, and then wraps something up in a handkerchief, and then slowly just kicks it under the counter again, and then just shuffles over to you, and then sits it in front of you, and it's like hard candy sweets. And she looks at you and she goes, "For your throat problem."
Oh, don't worry, it's the lungs. And he takes one. You've got a selection of bottles, but I can't make out what they are. What's your beer?
And she kind of leans back. She goes, "Whatever's in the barrel."
He nods as if that is a brilliant insight. True enough. I'll take whatever's in the barrel then, thank you.
She like somewhere between dismissive harumph and laughs, right? And one weird noise that mostly involves her nose, and says, "You want the cup or just the barrel?" And she winks at you.
Oh, I've got work to do.
I'll be the cup then. So,
Aye.
She slams it
Much
down.
is that?
4 copper.
Hold with me.
Remember, you can tap money, buddy.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yep.
Um,
So if you tap a
4
gold,
copper,
it'll
that's
become.
silly. Make it 2 then. And they'll give her 8 copper.
Okay, yep, then she lifts it up and, two mugs of whatever was in the barrel that looks like some form of brew. Yep.
Right.
She's like slides the little kind of like handkerchief with some hard candies just close and goes, "Keep them for the, She like wriggles her like neck skin.
That's very, very, very kind of you. Lovely. Da.
And she shuffles away.
And I'll wander to the table.
Yep, cool. So do you want to describe yourself for the group, what they see approaching?
Vanger, he does very much look like a dwarf. Beardy, short. But he's a bit on the thin side at the moment. On account of wandering around, mostly eating what he finds. He's definitely a bit dishevelled, and when I say a bit, I mean extremely dishevelled.
Travels via being dragged through bushes, you could say.
Yeah. He carries a staff with him, which is clearly just a sapling. It's not a staff. It is just a small tree. And he's probably got some form of mushroom growth somewhere in his clothing. He's generally gives the impression of someone who spends far too much time sleeping in bushes. Because he does. That's Vanger. And he's probably a little over 5 foot, right? He's the height of like a short person, say 5'3", something like that.
Cool.
So not tiny, but noticeably short, and also because he's a dwarf, he's a bit broad. And he's approaching you, probably with like a cigarette hanging out his mouth and a tankard in each hand. Because he's embracing the stereotype at this moment.
Yes, evidently. Also, like for you guys as well, like dwarves are relatively common in more metropolitan cities. So like Little Bellinor and even I guess Torque, Opal, they're very like mixed cities to a degree. Torque less so, but like Little Bellinor and Opal definitely. Opal is where the dwarves kind of come from, along with Crust. But that's really far to the south of the world, which is rare to see a dwarf randomly this far north. But not uncommon, just rare.
I think if I see Vanger coming over to the table, looking as he is, and he comes up to pull up a chair, I'm just going to pull my chair out in the opposite direction. Just keep a constant distance, social distancing from the smoking, drinking, mushroom growing at his old guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. I got bored of waiting. Not as quickly as he did, mind, but only so much to do standing by. Theo, who are your associates?
Well, this here is Walter.
Walter Steinmeier.
Nod. Alright. Vanger. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Ben, Theo hasn't met Samuel, right?
Don't think so.
Yeah. Just heard of.
Sam will play stand up and just stick out his hand. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Did you see you stick out your hand?
Yep.
Yeah. He'll shake it sort of forcefully and abruptly. Right. Yes. Handshake. Very good. Formal. Aye. Vanger here. Good to meet you.
You as well. You got another one of those. gonna say like points at your cigarette.
One hand sits down. One hand sort of like goes to one pocket and like la la. Probably, but I'll be honest with you, it'll take me a few minutes.
Fine.
I'll shoot a dirty look in Sam's direction.
I'll take a couple of minutes and I will look out some paper and roll something up that is presumably tobacco.
It was a plant of some kind. That's good enough.
Those mushrooms are looking real suspicious right now.
Hey, Vignir, I'm seeing you have the drink. Can I ask, what is you got?
Some form of beer. She didn't actually seem to know, but it's beer. Take a sip of one of them.
And I shall, and how do I react?
No, I thought Colin was saying Vanger takes a sip of one of them. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. Or are we just saying, is it they're just slowly reaching for that second mug that he has?
I may be.
No, you can do it. Do it. It's fine.
I'm intrigued, and he's got the second mug, so I'm just going to like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try it.
Like, that was actually for me, but yeah, you're welcome to it.
Oh, thank you. It's most kind. And how does it taste?
It's not great. Like I mean, it's drinkable, right? And you imagine if you drank a few of them, you'd pee a lot and get merry. So, yeah.
Go.
I had worse beers. That's not bad.
You definitely have. I think you've made worse teas.
Yeah. Samuel, yes. I was gonna pass you, and he sort of finishes rolling one up and passes it over to you. He's like, that's been in the herb pouch, so I'm not entirely sure it's all tobacco, but
Okay.
Intense stare of judgment in Samuel's direction.
That's what Samuel's simply going to chuckle. Take it, thank you.
nod in acknowledgement.
I think at this point he's just going to lean back in his chair and enjoy the odd assortment of individuals who have walked in today.
Fair. Oh no, my phone has fallen.
I believe
So-
Adair would still have that first swig of beer still in his mouth because he can't quite bring himself to swallow yet. So well, that
It's
introduction.
described as like basically okay, and that's your reaction.
Yeah, basically okay, but Adair's very snobby sometimes, especially when it comes to beverages. So he's sitting there with it, kind of
This
just.
is merely acceptable.
Snobby, but not willing to pay for such a lifestyle.
Because Adair knew it was going to be terrible, and he's no spending 4
You
gold
say
on it.
willing. Do you mean able?
Oh dear.
I can stretch out that far. I totally can. But yeah, Adair's sort of still sitting there. You can kind of almost make it out like he's still got it in his mouth. He hasn't swallowed yet. But he's just
Just
waiting for that
Walter,
moment.
we're getting some random background conversation from you. Any chance you can mute for me? Thank you. Carry on, guys.
But yeah, Adair's sitting there with this in his cheeks kind of thing. And you guys can see this.
Yeah. So Theo, anything else you wish to discuss at the table now that everyone's at least in some way busy?
Introduced. Well, my employers here are in need of 2 able bodies, preferably ones who can handle a sword, as we try to find a missing box for a noble.
Adair quickly swallows. It is a package we. Oh God, that is package we are looking for. But maybe not necessarily is looking for people who are good with swords. We are looking for competent people who are going to be able to help us retrieve package. We are hopefully going to avoid the bloodsheds.
And I presume this package will cause you difficulty, else you would be hiring a courier and a mule.
Is the
Well, they
package?
tried that and it
Then
didn't
the
work.
couriers died.
Well, I thought it'd be.
There's a distinct possibility that this is a result of some amount of warfare between the families. You know how it goes. We just want to make sure that if we can find it, or rather when we can find it, we can hold on to it properly.
And retrieve it and deliver to that who is meant to be delivered to. We are not wishing to start wars. We are merely trying to do job and get paid well, hopefully at the end.
Of course, now that you've mentioned it, the task is dangerous, and on behalf of a noble, I expect it would be adequately remunerated. And it's good to know the chain of employment. So, Theo, you are contractors of these contractors, which makes us subcontractors of which noble exactly?
Let's make sure that you are a subcontractor of a subcontractor of a subcontractor before we discuss any details.
That is on need-to-know basis.
So long as we do not upset the status quo of the city to the ire of those with great power, then I do not mind.
This is mission. We do not wish to draw attention to ourselves in the job that we do. This is what our employer would most be unhappy with.
And the nature of the package is such that it requires discretion.
We, if I'm honest, are not sure. The package is still a mystery. But what we do know is it is very important. And someone has already gone out of way to make Theo's business bad by stealing that package.
And while I do have a fair amount of competitors to my business, we do believe that it was due to the fact that the noble ordered it. It could be random, of course.
But it's more than likely it was the other nobles fighting amongst themselves, and Theo's business is getting in the crossfire, as they say.
In the what?
The crossing of the fair. You know, the arrow from here, and the person in the middles. He's caught in the crossfires.
You mean an ambush, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see. And that perhaps explains the dead couriers also. Were they ambushed?
Possibly.
Their deaths appeared to be the work of.
Giant beats.
Well, yes.
But there was 3 that was fallen in path that we believe was giant beats.
Unusually intelligent behaviour for them.
I'll look at Vanger for a while and then say, bats, giant bats. I've never heard of giant bats in these parts.
Yes, you have.
I thought they were known in this sort of area, what with it being suitable conditions and all, but...
I mean, I've never come across them in my past.
Samuel should be looking more and more confused, whilst also looking at what he's smoking.
It's probably not helping follow the conversation, whatever it is you're smoking as well, quite frankly. It's probably making it more difficult to follow.
But it's helping your mood.
It's been a couple of minutes. Should he roll?
Like whatever they're talking about, you're kind of into it. I think is the point.
Oh yeah.
Roll to resist the lure for Winnebago.
Winnebago's for everybody. But anyway.
Yay!
So.
Well, Samuel, I think a package guarding mission should not be too taxing on our ability.
Kind of leaning back forward and realizing you should probably, you try to figure out exactly what's happening. So there's a box that was being transported on the road. They got attacked, and he wants to help track the box.
Find the box. Yes.
Help find it, help return it if need be. That could prove tricky if there are others who want to keep it from being handed over.
It doesn't sound terrible.
Oh, simply look over at Walter, shrug. Yeah.
I'll put both of my gloves on and I put my hand. Sorry?
The beat sitting around here and do some good.
I thought someone else was speaking. I'll put both my gloves on and put my hands together. And then say, now let us discuss remuneration.
Agreed. We should discuss this.
All eyes on Adair, I guess.
Damn it. Adair just kind of staring at his cup that he's been given, and it's like, what the
Wasn't
hell,
even willing to pay for his own goddamn drink, and now he has to discuss paying employees.
So very slowly take the drink off.
Adair just kind of nods, like, thank you. The job itself, yes, Theo, we should probably discuss what you would normally pay your contractors. And from there, we should reach a budget from our expense to you to them. This might be something that we should do privately.
Very well.
You just could go find another table if you want on the second floor.
Yep, I would go for that.
Right, so
I would follow.
used to head upstairs. It's like there's one table up there, and the rest of the upstairs is kind of missing. Like it fell long ago. So you just go up to that one table nobody else seemed to go for, and we cut over to, sometime later, at the estate, and we have a snoozing Fleabite, cozied up in a wonderful warm bed, and there is a sudden thud of a door being slammed shut, and I'm assuming this wakes Fleabite. If not, I guess I don't need to describe anything until you wake up, so let me know.
Yeah, I think it's a very loud thud.
Yeah, and what can only be described as Hugh Jackman is in the room, having just slammed the door shut, kind of breathing slightly heavily, slightly red in the face with his amazing sideburns. And he kind of breathes and he kind of turns around and he sees you. He goes, "Oh no, not another one." And he comes over at you with quite some intent, right? Burly man crossing the room. You're in your nightie.
Probably heckles up, and
Yes, you bring more kitchen.
And he shakes his head and he goes, "What are you?" He says, "No, little one." And then he pulls his kind of shirt away, and you see there's a collar on him as well with the gold studs in it.
oh no.
And he says, "We have to get you out of here. She can't have more of us. You can speak." And his eyes narrow.
There's only one of me.
"And there may be none of you if you remain." And then he basically moves and then pulls the duvet away and then almost manhandles you out of the bed.
I think. This guy doesn't have a kitchen. Probably a bit of resistance to that.
Yeah, well, why don't we? Let's do it then, right? Let's have a wee roll, right? I'll roll plus his modifier, and you give me an athletics if you want, or an acrobatics, right? You can have your choice, right? But there, I'll do that with my modifier on. Go. We'll see what we get. Okay, yeah. So, as you start kind of tugging at each other, like, it can feel you resist, but you're getting dragged off the bed, right? And it kind of turns round before you're like pulled fully off the bed and goes, "Don't you want to leave?"
What is stopping from leaving? I have food. I have a bed. Very nice water in.
Kind of looks at you like, again, as if trying to work out what even are you. And then he says, "You will be food if you remain."
Flea bite is not food. Flea bites kill all that eat.
He kind of shakes his head. He's like, "If you wish to stay, I am not going to force you to leave. You may buy me time to escape." And then he just lets go of you and says, "Good luck, little one." And turns and then leaves through the other door.
Other door?
Yep. Two big massive sets of doors to this room. And he just leaves through there as well. These are the ones she locked though. The ones that the broken mirror was next to. And he just like pulls it open in one go. You can imagine he's probably a strong boy.
I think Fleabot would like to take a quick like tug at the collar.
Okay, yep.
To try and remove it.
Okay, good luck. There's no point rolling. I think you know this.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then probably just like kind of curiosity piqued. Curiosity killed the rat and all. And sort of take a nosy out the door that he's just left to see.
Yeah, and it's just that big long corridor that seemed to like go down the side of the house.
Probably just follow the noise that which way he went.
And like he has definitely like managed to cover some impressive amount of ground. By the time you get to the door, after you kind of scavenge around, and look outside, and then can I just find more Hugh Jackman gifts? Why not? There we go. Just for those at home, and us. But mostly us. But yeah, so you're gonna scurry off after him.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be like,
Man thing. What is shiny?
He kind of turns on the spot and he's like, "Shh!" right down the corridor. And he kind of like points to like next to him as if, stand here.
I think, pan over to Hugh Jackman.
Yep. Yeah. And he says, "Quiet now. We are to escape. We must be." He looks at you and goes, "Quiet is something that's not quite nice."
Quickly just like make sure that various things on my person are secure. And
two bells being the things.
And just be like,
What is shiny collar neck? Why cannot it remove?
It is bound to you, little one. It is a control collar. It will keep you by her side, under her control, her pet.
And why does you have shiny neck collar?
For I too was her pet.
And no longer, yes?
After tonight, no.
probably follow after him, kind of curious, like, there's a good chance just like push him into something, but when the time is right.
Do you want to give me a stealth roll? For you sneaking out?
That's something I can usually do.
We shall see. It's alright, yeah. Pretty good.
I mean, it's a perfectly average roll.
Ew.
Here we go. Fleabite's good at one thing. Yeah, no. Yep. So you and Hugh Jackman, the unnamed NPC, Metal Gear Solid your way out of this estate, to the point where it's like the kind of a tree, because I know how much you love trees, that you climb up near one of the side walls of the gardens, and he seems to climb this like effortlessly, right? Which is probably something Fleabite at least has acknowledged. This man thing being a very good climber, possibly better than Fleabite. And yeah, right.
Stab in the back.
Emotions for you to obviously climb up with him.
I think things have been percolating through Fleabite's mind. That wisdom and intelligence score not great. Probably by now, maybe get to be like,
But if neck collar make control pets won't realize when leave, yes?
That's why you must keep running. Let's go before they find us.
okay, climb up.
And then, yeah, like, says, do you need me to throw you over the wall or can you make the jump? And then you get the two choices at either side of the console screen. You pull the left trigger for make the jump, or right trigger for let him assist you by him throwing you over the wall. And then there's a timer: 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. No, I'm kidding.
Pretty much jump, yes.
Roll acrobatics. Nice. And yeah, like Fleabite runs and along the branches, leaps over the wall. Can you make a wisdom save for me?
It's like he's trying to make you seem.
Is that something I can use inspiration on?
Yeah, it's a roll, so yeah.
Then I'd like to quickly use this opportunity to demonstrate the purchasing of Triumph.
Yes. Okay, go for it, yes. Feel free to talk them through it.
So what I'm doing is using my Triumph points, which you accrue from watching the Victor Ryan channel.
Yep.
Which hundreds of people do.
And then once you have accrued enough, you can purchase certain things to use in-game. This is probably the best one, in my opinion. And it gives you inspiration, which can be used for giving yourself advantage on any roll, pretty much.
Okay, let me go approve such a purchase. Done.
Nice.
There we go. And oh no! Even though you have advantage, that does not mean there's going to be.
Yeah. So, as soon as you leap, you obviously cross the wall. There is a sharp pain that hits Fleabite in the neck, and you kind of almost wince midair before you hit the ground. You make a dex save for me.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It's fine. Did the 14 anyway. So, yep. It's just to see if you can still land without injuring yourself off the back of your acrobatics roll. But yeah, you got it. You're fine. So you managed to land, but you've got what feels like knitting needles that sized maybe 12 or 13 of them sticking into your neck that you can feel. They are definitely not there when you claw at them to remove them. And then, as that happens, Mr. Hugh Jackman leaps, and he has the exact same reaction, funnily enough, as you both roll around the ground, clutching at your necks, as he just swears very colourfully and growls loudly. And then, yes, I need you to take 3d6 damage, please. I'm going to let you roll it. Oh, yep.
Two
What?
maxes there.
This is why I let you roll it.
That's some good old fashioned damage right there.
Yeah. And you know, he winces in pain as well, and then like, you know, as this kind of like searing pain in your neck, you know, like floods Fleabite's mind. Yeah. You're kind of like picked up by this burly Jackman, and you know, him kind of like manhandling you a bit to your feet. This might be what kind of brings you out of the haze of the pain. And he says, "We must run, little one." And then he just bolts off into the forest nearby.
Yeah. I think.
So Fleabite's got follow man into forest or go into Evershade to find friends.
I mean,
How's your tracking skills? Your tracking skills are good.
And you can tell us that after the break, because that's a good place to end.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right, guys, we'll take a slightly longer break than normal. We'll do 9:10 is when I expect you guys to be back, and I will pop us all on the break screen.
Fleabite has a decision to make.
Yes, he does indeed. So, welcome to the Invasion, part 2 of session 27. It is still the 11th of the 11th, 2020. I'm still Ryan the GM, and here are the players who are still here.
Hi guys, my name is Gregor. I play Adair. He is an Air Genasi who used to be a bit of a rogue, but now is going through all kinds of changes and definitely has decided he doesn't trust wrinkles.
He's also an employer that seems to have subcontractors working for him now, so like, I mean, yeah.
Multiple subcontractors.
You're trusting
my
the
name-
wrong part of that.
My name's Dylan, and I'm playing Theo, a bard human at the moment, but that is subject to change at a moment.
Good evening, my name is Alexander, and tonight I'll be playing Fleabite the Skaven, who is still pretty terrible at everything.
Hello, I'm Bryn. I'm playing Samuel, who's a child of the storm.
Good evening. I am Colin. I'm playing Vanger, who is a dwarven clericy druid man.
And I'm Cameron. I'm playing Walter, who is a subcontractor of a subcontractor of a contractor of a noble for those trickle-down economic goals.
Perfect.
Yet he doesn't know that yet.
It's fine. We'll get there. We'll all get there in the end. But I believe we've got a decision to hear from the wonderful Fleabite.
So I was just thinking this is probably one of the first times Fleabite's been like properly alone. Like no supervision at all, either a captor in quotation marks or like a crew.
A friend, yeah.
Yeah. And that seems a bit curious, and I think it's sort of partially on the back of that, like having to go all the way into town to then find, you know, and then I end up with Adair and Wagner. Great.
Wow.
No, I think yeah. So basically, partially based on that, Fleabite will hurry after as yet unnamed NPC.
Okay, yeah, I like it. Give me an athletics roll. We'll have you run off into the night.
That it's nighttime.
I'm just like, see the NPC, can it be Hi Jake Man?
No, because that's terrible.
Oh, but it's terribly good.
It's not. Whoever told you that, get a refund.
It's voices in my head. So.
Okay. Right,
In your head.
we'll get our roll from Alexander and we shall move on with our lives.
Athletics, right?
Yeah. Okay, yep. Do you like bolt after Mr. Hugh Jackman? Yeah, we fade back to the group. Are we? We're going upstairs in the Wyther'd spoon. Yeah. So, Theo and Adair.
So, Mr. Theo, when it comes to your employees, what is your normal sort of pay rate? What do you normally give your employees for jobs they do? Is it by the hour, by the week, by the day?
By the day.
And how much is this by the day?
Oh, that depends entirely on the job.
So you only take on per day to do different kind of jobs. So say job like this, finding this package, what would your, how do we say, guesstimations be for this?
Well, if we include the amount that I'll have to pay these two, and given how much you are... Yeah, no, he does not say that. Sorry.
Not going to say allegedly getting paid.
He says, I believe we could do about 100 a day.
100 a day is what
100 gold,
you...
that is.
Da. So this is 100 a day to you, and then from that you pay your employee.
Correct.
I believe this is something we are maybe able to do, but may I ask, this 100 per day, is this covering cost of you as well, or do you expect them, how do we say, a kick off top?
Well, if you're offering, I would gladly take it. But no, this was including me. Well, our operative.
The operative. Well, I believe this is something that we are okay with. 100 per day for your employees, depending on how long take. But this includes yourself on top of what we are getting. So, I'm more than happy with this.
Well,
Do you wish to shake on this,
of course.
And then Adair puts his hand out.
And Theo takes it.
Yep.
It went a lot easier than I was expecting.
Oh, Adair's not. Adair was insulted by the wrinkly woman, so he insulted back. So that's why negotiations. She broke down negotiations straight away, so that was fine.
She broke the unwritten rule.
Yeah, don't insult someone's skin color. I mean, that's a given, guys.
Fair. So just you head back downstairs after like barely sitting down, I guess. Yeah.
After a couple of moments, actually, I'd ask him about just general chit chat, business stuff like
Cass's number. Yeah, I hear you.
How's the wife?
So tell me, are you of the married, or are you nice and singles for the ladies, or maybe even the men's?
Are you chatting him up now? Is that what's happening?
Single, my job leaves little time for that sort of entertainment.
It is same for adventurers. We travel lots. We do not have time to start the families, or at least the good adventurers should not do this, because how do you say, sailor with everyone in port.
What?
I understand what it means and get.
Yes, I know. I know.
Adair gets things wrong.
Don't worry about it, Adair. You're fine. It's the reactions that are perfect.
Yes, indeed.
Do you want to roll insight, Theo?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to.
Yeah.
Not a goddamn clue.
Yeah, I think you got it already. Yeah, you're sorted.
Sorted. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Adair says this, sort of sits back in his seat laughing, like looking at you, just like you understand. Whereas, yeah.
And he does that. Yes.
The awkward laugh.
And points.
But from where I'm sitting, I look down to the table where I've left Wagner and the others.
Yep.
Let's just go with that instead of me making up their names again.
Yeah, Samuel and Walter. Yep.
Yeah, Samael and the Walters.
Excuse me.
Oh, you can't hear me. I'm up at the top of the stairs. It's fine.
Wait, I'm sorry. What did
Maybe
you
he
say?
can hear you.
I mean, oh, that's a good point. Can they hear me from miles away, Ryan?
No.
Miles.
No. No. Like, just finish your scene with Theo. We'll see how this plays out.
I believe I would just look down to the table and say, shall we join the others now that we have settled upon a good contract?
Sure. One last thing. My company values secrecy in most things. If you could refrain from using any of our names in general speaking.
It is okay. I have a good knowledge that I'm very good with keeping people's names very secret. In fact, sometimes I'm not even sure if I'm saying people's names correctly. So I believe this is not a problem for me.
Well, it seems that Cass has been requested to no longer work for Lord Tonin because you used her name. I simply want it to be known that we value our secrecy.
I did not realize that the Lady Case had a problem with the Lord of the Tonin, or is it the other way around? Does the Lord have a problem with the Case?
No, neither. It's simply that he didn't want her to work work for him anymore because he sees her as inadequate. But that's okay. Just for the future.
It's interesting you bring this up. I question if we should be using this case if she is inadequate.
Sadly, you were not at Lord Tonin's request. You were there. Out of character, you remember, right?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
he would be like, "Wait, what?" Is it there?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Adair's not the greatest person.
That's a hell of a sentence.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
I mean, fair.
Yep.
Adair's awesome. How dare you?
The audacity.
Indeed. But yeah, no, I believe that's our scene. Yeah, we're kind of done. We'd head back down to the table.
So, was there any chat when they were up negotiating? What was the Wagner, Samuel, and Walter chat?
I like the idea of them all sitting quietly, just angrily eyeing each other.
We're just listening to use.
I think if Fanger and Samuel are still smoking, I'll just be glaring at each of them in turn, like giving them a good 10-second glare each, and then like swapping.
Can I roll insight to see if that is something that I'm aware of?
I think you can do it with advantage because I don't think he's particularly being subtle about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would be sitting with my arms crossed, glaring at you intensely. So I don't think it's going to be that hard to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so he notices. What does he say?
Just offer him a cigarette.
Yeah, yeah, you know that I'll do that. Would you want one?
Certainly not. 'Tis a fool's habit. Much like drinking and gambling, fools' habits all. The only way that ends is ending up penniless. Isn't that right, Samuel?
Samuel just kind of looks over at him, then looks back. Ignores him.
Just takes a draw on the cigarette. Yeah.
Well, you're entirely right. He smiles. But on the other hand, we all end up penniless, don't we?
Unfortunately and bitterly true for us. Otherwise, we would not be seeking work as couriers.
I meant in the sense that we all end up the same regardless of how frugal we are.
I do not follow.
This is Colin choking, by the way, but it works for Banger too.
COVID.
Well, it was actually coffee.
Covfefe.
I mean to say, you can have as much money as you like, you can keep your health, you can stay away from all frivolity, and still end up in the dirt, don't you?
Yes, I guess so. Yet I believe the legacy of a life lived righteously is superior to the legacy of a life lived aimlessly. And he looks at Samuel choking on his cigarette and being spaced out.
Excuse me, I'm not choking on my cigarette, thank you very much.
Then evidently it is not your first time smoking.
You can't take it with you when you go.
Alright.
You could have taken it with you when we go outside.
Right, maybe this is when the others return to the table. Yeah.
Oh, because like
Yeah.
Samuel just stands up, goes to the bar, comes back with 2 beers, puts one down in front of
Wagner.
Rancor.
Wagner. Close enough. Rancor.
Sorry.
Yep, Rancor.
They're gonna start that. If presented, I felt terrible for the Rancor.
Me too.
If presented with a beer, I will happily take it with a nod of thanks.
Yeah, feel free to lose 8 copper from your wonderful stash of monies, Samuel.
Start with a little bit more than Walter, luckily.
So yeah.
Well, our business has been concluded. Now about our business. Would you two care to join me upstairs?
Yes.
Wait.
Let's discuss remuneration before Samuel has drunk it all.
Actually, I'm happy to discuss it here.
I'll look
I'm
at
not.
I mean, Theo, if you are wishing to discuss a table, it's okay. Me and Wagner, we are okay with you talking business in front of your employees.
Mm.
After all, we are the one who are hiring you. We would like to hear what you are telling them.
I did not realize that a group of
I'm meaning, in the job itself, we do not want to make any miscommunications. We want to make sure they know what the job is. This is all I'm speaking of.
I see. Walter?
Turning to Theo, I think Samuel will just go, so how much are they paying you?
That is
Oh.
at their discretion to share.
How much are we paying?
I like that Vanger leans in to Adair. It's like, how much are we paying them?
It's okay. Me and the Theo, we come up with the reasonable deals. Where we are all quite equals, shall we say?
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Not to
Can
this.
I roll insight to see if I know?
I mean, he's also used to could just leave the table and go upstairs, right? And leave them downstairs and just make that.
That is very true.
Sure. I want to roll to see if I understood that though.
Probably
Well,
not,
I mean-
right? Like, even if you got a crit, like, it's like, you know he's trying to imply something, but you can't exactly imply the exact mathematical amounts that he's trying to.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think Vanger is sort of he's not that fussed about sitting in their financial chat, so he will happily leave the table if it makes others more comfortable. If you prefer to have a bit of privacy, I'll take my leave. Good luck talking him into it.
Well, I was going to be here to answer the questions if there were any, but yet, if you wish to be alone, then I will join my comrade Wagner, and we shall see you when you are finished discussing what you need to discuss.
Thank you.
Very well.
And he proceeds to sit down.
Does Adair actually leave? Or just awkwardly
Oh, yeah.
sits there?
I was wondering.
I mean, I never actually said.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would leave with Wagner
Yeah.
after saying that and join him wherever we are, whether it be at the top of the stairs or at the bar.
Yeah, either or. Not fussed.
Well, at the
I'm
bar, I might get
not
into a fight,
fussed
so.
either. Okay, let's go to that stairs table.
Yeah.
Yep. The creaky table upstairs. Okay.
So what did you give them?
It's a good deal, but we discuss after they discuss what they can. Can you hear them from here? How's your...
Emails. know, really.
Is I'm worried that the Theo, what with running business, might do business before what we need to do as job. This is why I'm saying we maybe wanted to sit in and listen to what he tells them. But, we need to trust this Theo.
Bit foreshadowing.
Well, my thinking was that it might just make it a little bit easier for them to talk business if they don't have to worry what they're saying to us. I mean, people
It's
get
just-
awfully funny about gold.
It's true. It's just I'm not wanting them to suddenly decide that they can just rob us and not do job.
Aye, fair. But do you think?
It would
Do
be
you think
shame
they'd
if they
say they
tried
were
to.
intending to do that if we were at the table?
You do not know with strangers, but it would be interesting if they tried to do this because we have not got any wealth yet.
Well,
I wonder if they know this.
we have some. We have some money.
I like that the camera then just clicks to the wide shot of the two of you sat at a table. One looks like he's been risen from a swamp, and the other one looks like he's wearing the cheapest, gaudiest baubles to look expensive.
I'll have you know they were expensive when I stole them. It's just I've worn them. I've worn them out.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that wide shot of the two of you just sat there being like, do you think they know this? Clicks to the wide shot. And I think we cut downstairs to Theo's negotiations.
All right.
Well, I did not realize that couriers had such multiple layers of management.
Only in specific cases. This being
Very
one of them.
well. And I presume you come to discuss not only remuneration, but some sort of extra information you wish to withhold from the others?
Only if you require it.
I presume that was the reason for your discretion, given that
No,
money
it's
is
just standard business protocols.
for a very standard kind of business.
Well, we pride ourselves on appearing standard.
Right. Well,
So, if we can get down to business, well, if we include the finder's fee that we discussed earlier, we...
the what?
What, did you think that I was going to find you a job for free?
Yes. I mean, forgive me if I'm being naive, Samuel, but if you wish our labor, I don't see a fee being required.
Well, you guys needed a job. I found that job.
Right. And you're not able to complete your job without hiring us, is that correct?
You are not the only adventurers in town.
We're not mere adventurers, Samuel and I. Looks at Samuel like, please say something.
So let's hear what you're offering.
Well, 20 gold each a day.
20, and I'm pretending to make a big note of it in my head and umming and eyeing it, whereas I'm
Can
definitely saying
I would like to just
in my
highlight
mind,
something just for everybody's sense of value,
Triple
okay?
economics.
Here's a very key information about the economy of the world. A skilled hireling earns 2 gold per day, and an unskilled gets 2 silver per day. So it is still a lot of money, even if we know the numbers from other people's incomes. So now
of course.
highlight that out there. But it depends how much you
And
value your skills, of course.
I'm drawing out my decision to make it seem like I'm kind of reluctant, whereas actually in my mind I'm just saying, yes, 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 yes. 20
My
gold.
line.
Is that inclusive of expenses?
What expenses are you expecting?
Food, lodgings, any equipment?
That would include those. Or those would be presumed to be paid for on your behalf through these 20 gold a day.
What do you say, Samuel? Shall we forgo our other contracts for this?
I see. I don't know. Samuel's just kind of looking over at Walter, looking over at Theo, and the two strangers up
Mm-hmm.
in the top. Good. I think there's a lot more to this they've not told us. And I want to know all of that.
Yes, let us begin our transaction with honesty. What is this package likely to be?
So honestly, I do not know.
So it must be something of great value for someone to hire multiple adventurers on such rates. Sounds could be possibly illegal or untoward, in which case we of course have a duty to act accordingly. So I think I believe your stipend is acceptable.
I bring back the original question I asked. How much are they paying you?
Sadly, I cannot discuss that, for it is in the contract.
You have a written contract?
No, verbal.
And who is the ultimate employer?
The Genasi. Oh,
I mean, of him.
We cannot discuss until we've ensured that you are working with us.
I don't know which to make noble enemies, but if it is in the service of one of the noble families, then perhaps their patronage will be valuable.
Yeah, reaching over to Walter, slightly just touching his arm. Tell the Genasi we will take an even split of the reward. And that is our deal.
Sorry, are you telling this to me or
To Walter?
Okay.
Tell him Walter. And to Theo.
How about our discretion is assured for an equal share of the fee from this noble upon delivery? That way your guaranteed delivery is made and our discretion is assured. And you have our loyalty until the end of the contract because we do not get paid until its completion, and that should be valuable enough.
I do not believe that would work with how the previous contract has been made. I understand where you're coming from. I just don't believe that it's possible.
Do I believe him?
No? Do I roll insight?
I'm guessing this is how I do that?
It is indeed how you do it, yes it is.
Cool.
Do you want to give him an answer there, Cass?
I mean, it's true. Nothing he said is a lie. And not even on a technicality.
No, I meant do I believe that he's being honest with us?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's what we answered, yeah.
Yes, it is honest.
Well, it seems very strange that such a impromptu band would be bound by such labyrinthine bureaucracy. Yet, if that is the case, then I guess we must accept this offer, Samuel.
Sure.
Very well. Shall we shake on it?
Take off my glove to obviously make it, real that we've actually shaken hands, and then thrust my hand across the table at you.
Accepts it.
To finding a package and delivering it.
To finding that package and delivering it. And he reaches his hand out to Samuel.
Sure.
Cool. As an out of character moment, Theo's working for the business, right? Very job driven. I'm sorry.
No, just my character would not accept that at all, but it can happen for the party to come together. So
My character has 1 silver coin in his purse, so getting 20 gold the next day sounds pretty nice. One final thing, how many days do we expect to be searching?
40 gold each.
What was that?
I
Sorry,
understood
you
40 gold each.
No, 20 each.
Okay, Walter would not have. Cool, it's fine.
I mean, you can, like, negotiate.
Oh no, like I think Walter hates bullshit. So I think at that point would simply stand up, go up to the top table, say to Adir, we'll take an equal share in your business. However, I have no interest in this type of shady dealings.
Are you actually doing that?
I wouldn't. I'm down to my last penny, and finding work would be decent, and then I would get back to real work in my own view. But for until then, I need to take something that will put food on the table.
Yeah, to be honest, like it's what Samuel would do.
Yeah, so you head upstairs, right?
Yeah.
You interrupt whatever mutterings are going on between Vangar and Adair. This is probably during the shaking of the hands between Theo and Walter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Samael, I believe.
Yes, it is. I do not understand what business you have found yourselves in. However, I do not care for. I prefer to keep everything straightforward and simple.
Is the Theo not made things simples?
What have you? Oh, sorry, I just saw what Walter put in the no, I do not know Theo. I have not met him before today, nor have I met yourselves.
I was sorry. I was under impressions that you were one of his employees.
I have never met him. I have heard his name spoken once or twice by Walter, whom I've recently met. It sounds as though you have found yourselves in quite a complicated situation.
This is very true. It's quite complicated.
Well, I'm not entirely sure I agree.
Oh, I
What we
believe
have is a stolen package. We don't know the contents. We
Yeah.
know it was probably stolen by a noble family.
possibly.
There are only so many noble families.
Quite a few in the Evershades, but we cannot go around just accusing because they are very powerful families.
No, true enough. I'm not saying the work's easy. But
Samuel simply opens his arms at the two wonderful beings in front of him. A gesture as complicated.
You know, Wagner, I believe he is addressing us as the complicated thing.
is he?
I'm believing this. This is why he open arm and gesture at us. And, I mean, we are doing job and we need other people to do the job. But I'm believing that he thinks we are going to complicate things. This is what I'm getting.
Well, you've not wandered off. You've come and spoke to us, so presumably you think we can resolve this. So
Tell me, what is problems with your... No, sorry, I was going to say your employers, but with the Theo of your acquaintance. What is problems?
Well, you have piqued my interest. I doubt I shall be bored. Work yourselves. I prefer to be on an equal footing. Now, if you wish to split any reward, I will happily listen.
Unfortunately, there is no end reward. There is only the mandatory pay if we complete job. Maybe the employer who is from, let me say, very wealthy family, very well-known family of here of the Evershades, if we do good job quickly, there might be reward. But there is unfortunately no guarantee.
This is a risk I will happily take.
How much have you been offered?
20 gold.
Now,
Yes.
is this a deliberate mislead? Because it is 20 per day you've been offered.
Oh, he's honest.
Mhm.
20 a day. He does.
I just wanted clarity for that. I just wanted clarity for that. Yep.
That was my mistake, thank you.
No worries.
It's a
Yes.
amount, but you'd be right to suspect it's
No,
exactly
Wigner, Wigner, this is what Theo pays his employees when he has good contract. And I believe I came to good terms with the Theo. We shake and make contract. In 20 gold piece day for the employees of the Theo, I believe this is quite good.
What'll it take to convince you?
I will happily take reward as I will take risk.
Sorry, say that
Oh,
again? I didn't catch
I
that.
will happily take reward as I will take risk.
Well,
I will happily split any fee with yourselves. However, undue complications do not interest me.
I'll tell you what. Despite your acquaintance's first impression of me, I am not. Well, I am known to indulge in the odd frivolity, but I'm a frugal man in the home. Lived most of my life with next to nothing. The way of a priest, you understand. I'll ensure that any difficulties are properly rewarded as they arise. But let's try to do this so as to avoid any unpleasantness.
Think of that, Samuel simply go, I agree, and offer his hand.
I'm glad you agree with this. And
I
Adair
would.
would shake hand. Yeah.
It's a very complicated employment structure we've got going on here. Like,
It's hazard pay, you know?
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, it's not the money Samuel's unhappy with. I think it's rather just undue complication. He's like,
Yeah,
I'll
why
work
be a
with you.
subcontractor of a subcontractor? Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
persuading.
It's completely fair, if we're honest.
I'll tell you what as well. I might add something to that as well. It might be. I don't know whether or not you'll want to advertise that to Theo.
That is fair.
I just realized I did clarify with Theo that payment is only upon completion of job, right?
I mean, I kind of think you've actually not done that. I think you've said
No.
100 per
Yes.
day. So,
Yes.
yeah, there was no...
Well, we're being paid daily.
Yeah, only I believe. No, we're 100. Yeah, we're paid by day, and we've got a week to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm suddenly
It's
realized.
going to take a week.
So I've got into actual work mode. I'm like,
Also, this is a great example of why work takes as long as it is allowed to take.
So, what happens now? Samuel, do you stay upstairs and talk to them? Does everybody come downstairs? Do you regroup? Is there a bar fight? Like, what happens?
I believe if everyone's happy, I believe we should regroup and get to know each other a wee bit over the table before proceeding with the job.
Okay. How does that look?
If everyone's okay with that.
Talk us through that there.
So I believe me, Wagner, and Samuel shall come down the stairs. We shall gather at the table.
Actually, means in character talk about that. Like, essentially suggest the idea to.
So, gentlemen, shall we discuss the job now that we are all in contract of the shaking of hands, and we shall discuss what we are going to be doing next, but also what we are actually capable of. I'm knowing Wagner, I'm knowing myself, but I am still new to you.
Right, pause on that thought, because I just want to clarify. So, we know obviously that you guys are being paid by the Lord, the nobleman. Then you are paying Theo, and Theo is currently in agreement with Walter. But Samuel has an agreement with Wagner for hazard pay, and a split of whatever reward may or may not exist. Yes? Good. Because that's all I need to clarify. Good. Right. Just in case there's bullshit that's called later on, I'm like, nope, I'm writing this down.
Please do, because I'm a little confused. Am I paying Samuel?
No, you never agreed to.
Okay.
No. Okay, there we go. Samuel.
You're doing really well.
Okay. Plus.
Thank God we've avoided any complications.
See, this is why my brain started going into work mode. I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a real deal. What the hell?
I just feel like Fleabag could float all of you with his money. That's my favourite part of this.
You know what? I think we should have put into the handshake contract that Fleabag will cover all outstanding debts.
Yeah, Fleabag will just start with the debts owed to him.
Meantime, we can simply take his money.
No, he's got his bag of holding.
Right,
Like,
so
this band is so complicated. Do we have a HR person? If not, we could probably. I think I can contact the HR person, and they'll be contracted to me, who's contracted to Adair, who's contracted.
Everyone contracts their own HR person.
and then they all contract each other.
Always side of them. Yeah.
And are you paying tax on each transfer of funds here?
I think there's a very unusual way
Yes, I'm not
to
sure
hear like in-party loyalty among new players, but yeah.
Inheritance tax is a forbidden term in this city. Yes.
Ryan, D&D's getting too real.
I know. Like, whatever. Also, guys, there's an invasion, guys, in the world somewhere to solve. By the way, like, let's discuss some, like, contractual obligations.
We don't really care about that.
So anyway,
We need to do this to deal with that. It's fine.
yeah, clearly, yes. We need to find this guy's missing box for his wedding to stop the invasion. Of course.
Yes.
We're doing the Legend of Zelda style of quests.
Oh dear.
Wait,
So the world is, but I gotta collect these chickens.
Yeah.
wait, we haven't been fishing yet. I spent hours doing that.
Help us complete our quest.
Oh dear. Dear God.
I'm good with the fishing part of that, so yeah.
I didn't realize Theo would cause such an issue with all of this.
Man.
Ugh.
Yep. It reminds me of is it Into the Woods where it says I need that shoe to have a baby or something like that, and it's like a random fucking NPC quest. I'm sure that's some random scene from Into the Woods with Emily Blunt. But anyway. Yes.
You have referred to that thing several times, and I believe that was the context in which you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah. So anyway, what does this frivolity look like then at the table? The getting to know each other. Adair, you were about to pose this to the group.
Yes, so I would kind of explain my backstory. I grew up in cities. I was technically part of a thieves guild, but I was not.
Are you telling us that, though?
I would mention that I was raised by a thieves guild,
Well,
but not by choice.
I don't want this level of bullshit exposition. Be in character.
So
Yeah, we could like skim past part of this.
So I was when I was but a young Genesi, I was taken from parents. I was apparently going to be how you say auctioned off or sold to buyer, but it never happened. Instead, I am raised by people who take me from family, but I did not know this until I was maybe of age of 15, maybe 16. At this point, I leave those peoples, and when I leave these peoples, I am searching for something better than what I was shown. And this is where I am now. It's only been maybe 5 years. I tried taking on job of looking after students at university. I thought this was a noble thing, but no, it was not. It turned out one of the party was not so keen on the students and blew them up. He says accidentally. I should mention this was an accident on his behalf, but it happened several times.
This is the one that you know.
To blow up the students,
No,
And-
he's the one that when I first met you.
the small body in the cart.
Yeah, aye,
Da.
that's what I was thinking.
That was him. He was all of the noble intent, but also blew up a lot of students who were just trying to get on in world.
Right.
Huh.
And
But-
there shall be none of that on this expedition.
Well, yet, he unfortunately he was passed away. He did not survive in encounters with beings. You might have heard of the invasion on the planet of the gift. I call them the Chad, but apparently there is more than one Chad. There is in fact the Gitenki and the Yankee.
It's the same word
All
twice.
sorts of invader creature, yes. I'm sure many students feel safer with your companions passing.
Well, I believe that the attendance for class has definitely improved since the Elvin has gone.
Okay.
Well,
It's a fairly
that's interesting
apt-
to learn.
Yeah, fairly good reaction for everybody. Yep.
I did not say it was going to be good get to know story, but it's what I am.
Samuel's got his head in his hands, just going, "Ah, fuck."
I'll look over to Samuel and just see if there's any beer left in the bottom of his cup. And if there is, I'll reluctantly take some and just like stare into the bottom of it after.
I put Samuel's reaction to what Wagner gave him to smoke. So I'm just like, well, that is what happens when you take smokes from strangers.
Wise words, Samuel.
Well,
Samuel's going up to the bar, getting another 2 pints, sliding one towards Wagner, and asking, "Can I have another smoke, please?"
Samuel.
Reaching this decision.
I'll chuck him some paper and some presumably tobacco. Say, I'm sure you can roll your own.
Aye,
Thank you,
aye.
by the way. Now, I suppose before our friend here, Adair, goes on to introduce all of the people who are no longer travelling with us. Strange bunch. Some of them very helpful. Well, you were talking about, Adair, what skills you have, what skills people have. Maybe that would be something that you could start with. You seem to
Well-
have some strange powers, and you can offend people.
I have not offended anyone. I'm not. What are you meaning? I'm on good terms with most peoples I meet. My abilities have changed. It's true. In the past, maybe actually, Ryan,
2 months.
is it 2 months? Just right.
Probably.
Yeah, because I was like 3 weeks travel, and then before that, yeah. So in past 2 months, my how do I say voice has changed quite a lot from when I'm growing up in the... Have you ever met anyone from the Little Bellamores area?
I can't say I have.
They tend to speak like yourself, quite is everyone's can understand straight away, and there is no confusion on the words. But unfortunately, I say unfortunately, my birthday has happened when I have turned a year older, and suddenly things change. Where the most evident of this change is a strange hand that appears. This hand appears when I'm in mid-combat.
I think I would just look at you like this is the most insane story I've ever heard. And actually, it's told me by a stranger in a pub.
You have Theo's entire attention right now. Like, what in the fuck? Like,
Unfortunately, I'm not sure if this is something that happens to all Genesi or if it's just me. But things are happening that I do not quite understand, and I hear things in my head that I cannot quite get out. And when I try, no one understands complete.
You hear voices.
It's like having memory that is not your own.
Oh, wait, hold on. Would I know that was? Could I assume that was related to the guest thing, or could I perhaps roll to see if I could?
Oh, you can just assume. Yeah, I think that's a roll. Yeah, you were there.
Okay. Oh yes.
Yeah.
That'll be.
The zip drive.
Yeah, the zip drive. slowly files transfer. That side effect of psychic contact with the is it Gith's Sarai or the less warlock?
Yep.
With the Gith's Sarai, friendlier of the Gith. The ones you've got to watch out for. The Gith Yankee. Vicious buggers. Go after their own mainly, the other Gith. Anyway, he encountered a leader of the Gith Sarai, and ever since he's been... Well, I don't know exactly what you were like before that. I hadn't known you long, but you certainly didn't have the voices.
Yet I did. It was like week or four before I met the Gith, but the Gith then did more to me, which make head really hurt.
Can I pause here? I love that you are talking about two different things, and I think it's okay to be in character confused because I really enjoyed this. Because obviously,
have you ever gone to a doctor? Any road up? Yes, you have some interesting abilities.
Yeah.
A colleague. Is he a colleague? I suppose he's a colleague. Fleabite, who seems to have... I don't know what he's doing.
The Fleabite, he comes to us. I have been comrade with the Fleabite for I'd say 2 years now.
Vicious fighter.
He is very good in the situation where we are under the conflict. He is very good.
How many of those pirates did he kill?
Oh, I believe all.
Fantastic stuff. Any road up. He is a giant rat.
Skyvan.
Humanoid shape, right? So not just like a giant rat, but he is a giant rat though. I'm looking at Adair sort of questioningly, as if like this, yes.
So your comrade has the visage of a giant rat, but he is a small human.
Yet. He is, as he says, he is Skyvan.
We don't really know what that is, to be honest.
It is like
just something he says
rat.
a lot. Yeah.
He says
right.
Very strange. Anyway, as a fighter, very capable. If any trouble comes up, he's someone you'd want to have watching your back.
As long as there are no trees nearby. If there are trees, then he might run away.
Trees.
He enjoys scurrying up the tree, but he always comes back down, especially in heat of battles.
Leaning over towards Walter, I'm regretting this.
I'll keep looking at Samuel as if to confirm this, and then I'll ask the rest of the group. So, just to get this straight, you hear voices in your head after being psychically linked to the Geth. Wrong franchise. To the Geth.
The Geth also
And
invade, I
your
guess.
companion, yeah, I know, right? And your companion is a giant talking rat man.
Yes.
And I'll just lean back, put
But
both
this-
of my hands together, and say, "My profession is hunting witches and other abominations from the surface of this world."
Ah,
Please continue with your unworldly abomination, colleague, and your voices from the gift. Please continue.
so, when you say you are hunting the abominations, we used to travel with the peoples who are of the Elefante and the peoples who are of the, how you say, the turtles.
The who and the who.
It's probably best if you don't know what they mean. This is good.
You mean the legend of the Barus, of the Baru.
Some people say the Baru, but I am knowing him as a different name.
I couldn't hear what that was.
Is that something you know a lot about?
Only the legends of the locals here. They believe that there was a city full of these very strange creatures called Baru, but most believe it is a legend with little places that they could have still evaded human eyes.
And tell me, what are you believing?
Well, before I would have told you that it was probably a legend that was not true, but now you tell me that they're giant talking rat men, and now my faith in reality is somewhat shaken.
So you did not believe until just now?
I prefer to retain an open but skeptical mind, such as required in my profession.
Yeah, this
Is
is
he
open
weak?
minds.
Yeah.
As a witch hunter.
A skeptical and open mind. One never knows what form evil might take, but I should be certain to identify it when I see it.
On the subject of your profession, then, you have a skill set. What does a witch hunter bring to the table? I
How
gather
many?
an adventurer, but that's a bit more specialised.
Yes, I guess you could say I have an excellent set of skills, but what I do is not very nice for all. As you can see, I'm quick with the rapier. I'm good at investigating abnormal occurrences, witchery, sorcery. Looking for another word: witchery, sorcery, magic, ensorcelment, enchanters,
Occultery.
necromancers, occultery, witchcraft. I didn't mention that one already. Ridding the world of all sorts of evil.
I love the
demons,
term
undead.
occulturists as well. That's just, like adultery. But occultery. These are culturists everywhere.
Occultery, witchery, magery, maleficar,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Upon hearing this,
No, that's not a very fine good answer. That's out of character.
Upon hearing this, Adair leans into Wagner. Do you think he might help you with your theory of the vampire?
Let's keep that one quiet. I don't want to be going telling people there are vampires if we don't know.
Well, this is why I'm whispering to you.
Good point.
I would definitely be staring intensely. Can I try and hear this?
I believe we're all trying to hear this right now.
How quiet are you saying it, Adair?
I'm probably about the level I did. Like, hey, Wagner, do you think you could help with?
Anyway, just make a perception check, and if you get a 10 or higher, you can hear it.
I think he heard.
Wow, I didn't.
Wow. So everyone that wants to hear it, oh, brilliant!
That was with a +4 modifier.
I
I was
know.
doing quite good
Yeah.
until I saw everyone else is like +7, +6. I'm too enthralled in
What you're
listing the
saying.
various
Yeah.
kinds of Maleficar that I find this day.
And that's why I said it when I did.
You got me talking about something I'm very passionate about.
But yeah, I've said that to Wagner, and then we're back to the table. Yeah.
So yes, many a witch and evildoer has met their bane either at the end of my rapier or the small amount of reasonably pure magic which I can do.
Now, tell me, you say you are quite good with the rapier.
Indeed.
I am wishing to maybe somewhat see some of the skill of the rapier. How is your, how we say, parry, riposte, you know?
I was well trained by my mentor, so yes, I can master those basic techniques as well as some more advanced ones. But perhaps it is best to avoid having to draw one's rapier, except in the need of battle.
True, but perhaps one day we should, how we say, joust together to practice, to spar.
You're also a man of the blade.
As you can see, he moves his jacket back just enough to reveal a very fancy dual-held rapier. It's very fancy, but again, old. Like, it's been used. But you could tell it was once very fine.
Looks like it was once a fine blade. What mantelpiece did you take that down from?
Excuse, niet. I did not take from no mental piece. I acquired through several means, which the nobleman who had this was not putting it to full use, and I decided to put to full use.
I see. Well, I hope to see you use it for good as well in the field.
Me too.
Yes, I suppose I should.
What, I mean, why are we not getting a duel? That's my problem. Like, where's that duel that we were supposed to be getting?
I was going for a nice friendly, but we are in a pub, so it's probably best not to pull out swords.
Yeah, it's even worse than a church pub.
I myself have been wandering these lands in a mission the last year. By vocation, I am a priest of the Great Father. By necessity, I'm an adventurer. If need be, I am fairly well versed in the healing arts. Pretty good at finding ways to scrabble together a living on the road. Ideally, shouldn't have too much trouble finding something to eat in Evershade, but useful skill to have when traveling. My concern, of course, being that I do tend to stand out a bit in human company. I may have some trouble with the more subtle aspects of the job in a very human city.
I trust that's something Samuel and I will be able to lend to your group of diverse adventurers.
I nod. And Samuel, then.
Yes, me.
Tell us a bit about yourself and your skills, then.
I'm a soldier by trade. Spent many years serving. Been on the road for about a year now, a bit less than a year.
And what brought you to the Evershades?
Been looking out for people traveling for a while. Group of caravans got in some trouble. I helped. Didn't
What-
think that enough people would get into Evershade, so
What
came
kind
with
of trouble did this key ravine come into?
the roads aren't exactly safe. They got attacked, so
By what? I'm hoping it's not big giant beats.
no. These were big giant wolves.
Oh, neat. There's
Giant
many-
wolves, you see.
Well, wolves. They appeared to be quite well coordinated.
That's
Hmm.
interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yes, there are many potential sources of these unnaturally coordinated wolves, such as druids, witches, sorcerers, and then a back off to finishing off various
yes.
kinds of evildoer.
Yes, this is how I met Walter. We
I like to believe that's a literal statement. You met him listing things.
both, unfortunately.
Yes.
But we tracked them down. We tracked one of the packs down to their lair, and that's how I met him. Just fairly recently.
In this-
Unnaturally organized wolves.
Yeah, like they all had diaries, basically.
Yeah,
strategic giant bats.
yeah. Like it was quite interesting reading up their diaries. You know, like they're actually really similar to us. You know, like
They think the same, feel the same. Just
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah.
Does Susan like me? I don't know. You know.
I felt really bad that we had to destroy them. Like there's this one teenage wolf. He had a bit of a crush on another one of the wolves.
Oh no! Stop it!
Hmm.
You're making me feel bad, and I wasn't even there.
So those wolves are dead now.
So they're dead.
So Samuel, Walters, are you discovering what make these wolves bigger and act like, how do you say, pick that's unnatural?
Sadly, no. That was not part of their diary writings. It's something that we had planned on investigating until we met yourselves. While organized wolves are very fascinating. I just want to understand what's happening with all this. Just kind of gesturing around the table.
I think you may have reason to investigate those wolves further, I'm afraid.
That is, we come across the giant beasts that were acting unnatural.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's part of what drew me to yourselves. It was an interesting part of your story.
Hmm.
But maybe if we help you with your giant bats, you can help us with our
It is okay. The giant beasts have been taken care of.
Chuckle at that. Actually, I feel bad for them, but they were getting a little bit aggressive.
It's
Had to be done.
true. They killed Dos. I was not happy with this. Dos was our horse. We lost Unos, then we lost Dos. It is
Bloody
a tragedy.
pirates. Terrible thing. Pirate Furious couldn't keep up with us. Just made a bloody mess of the horse. Just a real shame. But anyway, the giant bat problem was interesting.
Da.
All the more interesting now that we know that there's a wolf
Giant
problem.
wolf. Da.
I think on that note, we then transition all the way over to Fleabite.
To the giant rat problem.
Yeah. And then, Fleabite, you've been running for a while now, right? You're like probably feeling very ill, given how much food you're full of, very frankly.
That was before the nap, though.
Yeah, again though, probably feeling quite ill because of the food you were eating.
Okay.
And
So,
It was waxed. So.
like, because Fleabite has, that thing in his brain that says stop, crowbarring a woman's teeth out while on the head of a horse and her arm rings a bell, and then you stole the bell, and then, here we are. So anyway, running, following this man who's, Fleabite is fast, right? Like, he's very fast, and this guy is like outpacing you. The point where like he's
If
running ahead
it-
and like stopping and looking, making sure you're still keeping up.
If Fleabite thought that was going to be like an issue, would that help?
Yeah.
Because I know that's sort of like gameplay, but does that transition into narrative space at all?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to start doing that for like, what, a total of 20 minutes, I guess, yeah, you could definitely keep up pace with the guy easily. Probably quite impressively, from a sprinting point of view. So if you want to do that, you can do so. That one of your actual spell slots, though?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you're going to burn both to keep up for the 20 minutes?
It's gonna take. Yes, I will because
Nice. Look at that. Look at Alexander actually spending a resource. I like it. Good man.
because I get them back on an hour's rest.
Yep. So, as you bolt, it's a unnaturally fast rat. Do you want to describe how that looks?
Just like on all fours, of course, and I mean, I almost feel like the classic story of the the animals of the zodiac of the Chinese calendar when the rat wins the race by jumping on the yak. It's almost like every third jump is onto his back and then onto the ground and then onto his back, and he takes me a little bit further. It's probably amounts to something like that.
Yeah, and then you maybe aren't fully aware of like how thick into the forest you're actually like heading and how far away the city becomes after a good fair while of running, and then he like comes to like an abrupt stop, as he like digs his feet into the ground. You can notice as well at this point he's obviously had kicked off his shoes at some point, so he's been running barefoot for a while. He digs his feet in and comes to a sliding stop, and then puts like a big hand up to like stop you as well, and then says hold here, and then howls into a cave.
Ooh.
A cave.
A cave.
Yes, you haven't been running for 3 weeks though, I'll give you that much.
Impersonator.
And well, I mean, he's doing a great Hugh Jackman impersonation at the moment. And then he turns and says, "Stay behind me."
I stay on behind you.
And then, like slowly out of the dark of the cave, you just see one massive, paw stretch forward, which is the size of Fleabite. And then
Can I jump on the dude's back?
Yes, you can. And then he obviously doesn't even flinch at the fact that you've leaped onto this his back. He's obviously supporting you quite well. Hugh Jackman's a tall man. And the rest of
And I'm a
this
small rat.
yeah, exactly. And the rest of the form comes into the twilight of the evening, and out I guess walks. I was gonna say prances, but that was a bit too fancy. Out struts this very, very large, unnaturally large, you could say. I would never say that, but you could say that. Unnaturally large wolf appears with kind of glowing yellow eyes, and it snarls and growls, and then all the other lights of the reflection of the yellow eyes appear in the cave. And the wolf speaks and says, "Is this a meal you have brought us?" And that's where we end the session.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
I hate werewolves.
Well, these are our werewolves, so they're slightly different. What do you want to call the session, folks?
Hi, Jackman.
No.
Worth a try.
I mean, yep. Pop in your suggestions to the chat. I will then probably veto most of what Adair puts in.
Come on, man.
Come on. But yeah, feel free to
What
call in
in here?
suggestions. Callum's got quite a good impression of that. I can't do that accent. I'm a kind of New Yorker. He says not being able to do any accents really. So yeah. These are all far too long. These will not fit in my titles, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys.
And yet,
And yet here they are. Doesn't matter.
What was it you called your Weatherspoons?
The Wyther'd spoon.
Withered spoon.
Because I like that. Like just two withered spoons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to type it because I can't
I
Yeah.
think it was like a. That wasn't it?
spell. Hey,
I mean, it was definitely just a normally spelt word, but it
No.
can be like that if you want it
No
to be.
normal
Yeah.
spelling.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Down with it.
If that's the case, do you want to edit it and put the in front of that so it's a bit more or less
you mean-
franchised?
ye olde withered spoon.
No. No.
Because the
Yeah.
ye is pronounced the.
Ah,
There we go.
spells.
The.
Yes, I am a spokesperson. You should know this by now.
Right. So I see that everybody's voted on the title that is by default not possible. So feel free to then. I agree, it was a good title, but sadly it's too long for my titles. So, any other suggestions, or is it going to be the Withered Spoon by the looks of it?
I'm looking for the emoji I used to use to vote, but I can't.
Used to use.
I used to use.
Is mine too long as well?
Yeah.
The form worked quite well.
Gadoosh.
Also, you're welcome, Dylan. I know you don't hear that often.
You're welcome.
Um,
Right. Good. That's
For
good.
what?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I got it. It was fine.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it'll come back to you, don't worry.
Okay.
Right. Now that we have the withered spoon, I guess, the withered spoon. Yeah. Goals. Let's look at those. Anything happen?
I mean,
This ain't never really happened.
Not a goddamn thing, let's be honest.
Yeah, no.
I
we
tried.
became a party. Except for Fleabite.
yeah, Fleabite, who managed his goal.
He did
Yeah.
actually. He has succeeded
Yeah.
through
Oh,
the
shit,
aid of the
yeah, fair
werewolf. That still counts as far as I'm concerned.
He
And
could
you
have.
know, if we
He could have
think
failed his
about it-
jump. He could have failed his jump. You know, he could have chose to stay in their comfy room.
It was tempting.
I'm surprised you hadn't trashed it more to make an actual nest.
We actually did learn a little bit about the Foon Rune standing in Evershade.
I did think that.
Not a huge amount, but we learned that clearly they're liked by the ruling family.
They are welcome guests, and they shall be partaking in the wedding. They
Or-
do not have an
I say they're
actual.
liked. They're
Yeah.
important enough that they feel they have to invite them.
Yeah, but they do not have a permanent standing building of theirs in the city or
Well, they're-
town.
Or a
they're-
retirement home, or
Retirement
a
home.
Spanish villa,
Uh-huh.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it seems like they're staying at the big estate as opposed to for example, any of their own properties there, right? So
Oh
yeah,
my god, werewolves. Now there's Richter von Rune. It's. This is Uberwald, isn't it, Ryan?
no, it's not. As
is
much
that
as
a comic book reference I don't get, or
It's a Terry Pratchett reference. It's actually a history reference. So Uberwald is the German for Transylvania.
oh,
It isn't used now, but historically it was, because Transylvania is just Latin for through the woods,
mhm.
and Uberwald is beyond the woods in German.
Ah, I didn't know the
That's
German.
Terry Pratchett used it in
yeah,
Squirrel.
he's a good one. He's a good in that way. But right, so
Rest in peace.
general goals. I would say you did learn about the Von Rune family standing in Evershade, right? I would say that you didn't get any detailed information, but you definitely learned something. Yeah.
Does that count to XP?
I mean, did you want more from it?
No.
There you go then. Move it all over.
So that's complete, yeah.
Yep, chuck it over.
Yay learning.
Hmm.
Skadoosh. I'll copy or cut rather.
No, copy. And then just
Sorry.
delete.
It's always better to copy. I mean,
Copy,
if you
paste,
and
then
hit
delete.
cut.
Don't cut,
You know what?
because you'll take away the formatting, and I'll hate you.
Harsh but fair.
Yep. Excel is a fickle mistress, and we need to adhere, you know. And by that I mean Google Sheets.
Life is a roller coaster. You just gotta ride it.
Right, clear that one off.
Skadoosh.
Okay. Right, anything else in the general goals? So we don't have use group to learn more about Barris. No. Find the missing package for Tanan. Wasn't that hopeful. Check. It's like, wait, actually, this table isn't. Wait a minute, this is the package the whole time. Find out the circumstances around the big wedding. Nope. Find out what the package was. Nope.
What
Okay.
if the package was the friends we made along the way? Sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Right. Personal goals. Right. So yeah, Fleabite, you did find a way to leave the spooky sister. It kind of found you, but you followed it. So. So chuck it over. And then become the face of the group. Adair?
I mean, I believe majority of the party, well, at least 3 of the party now see me possibly as a leader, but I don't know if that's still finished. It might be an open-end bloody thing that we'll never complete.
Well, if you can think of a way to rephrase it so that you know when it will be complete. You
Yeah.
know? Like buy everybody badges to donate their rank, right? And the team.
Oh my god, I've just realised he's Nico.
Yeah.
You've made yourself Nico.
Yeah.
Who's Nico?
Exactly.
Nico's from the
I
Monday
know
game.
Nico, and I don't know what this means.
It's because Nico is the captain of the sci-fi game. The Monday
okay.
game, sci-fi game. Nico is that. And he is the captain, and he's had a goal that he could have solved for the last 4 sessions and hasn't.
He just doesn't do it.
Because he could just, it's literally just having a conversation with his crew about what their ranks are, and he just doesn't.
I would like to say that is complete because that's who. I mean, I am negotiating.
I feel like during today's session you were called the employer a lot,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like, and you were the one that made the deals. Yeah, like sorry,
You're
Samuel.
currently my employer.
If that is complete, I'm happy
If
with
you pay an extra gold a day, I'll call you leader.
Ah, cheap.
I'm just going to move that to complete then.
Mhm.
And oh no, I need to come up with a new one. No.
Yeah, the true curse of completing goals.
Yeah.
Nice for your stereo action med there, Colin. Thank you.
I mean, sometimes we are similar.
Yes, this is true.
God
Right,
help us.
I know. Everybody else too. Any other completions to talk about? Or are we good? Because I think that we're good. It looks like we're good. Yeah.
Good.
Right, now, we've got a blank general goal, and we have a lot of personal goals to fill out.
Yeah.
So let's deal with the general goal first. What does everybody think the general goal should be?
Learn about it, everyone.
Let's do last session again, but
Yeah.
longer.
I mean, we're almost done, right?
How about, we don't actually have a specific idea of which family might be responsible. Like maybe find who.
But we
who
don't even know if another family is.
Yeah,
It
We're
could
just going-
literally just have been bats.
it could have been. It could have been bats, and if they did it all on their own, then good luck to them.
See, I was going to be sarky and put in work together, but I cannot for the life of me spell that right now because my spelling's atrocious at the best of times.
To get
alright.
her.
Oh, seriously, I typed it like 5 times and I'm just not happy with the way I typed it. So I'm like, no, that's wrong.
And the more you try
And
and
I
look at a word, the less it makes sense.
Like,
So
there's
Yeah. And
you
I
can see my hand.
I feel though the phrase "work together" though in an RP that's cooperative feels
Yeah.
bullshit. So I'm probably
That
vetoing.
sounds easy,
So-
really.
Oh no, that's why I was going to do it as a
Mhm.
goal, but then I realized I've typed it 5 times.
It's a goal that never ends.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of Evershade. Can we do that?
What was
Would
that?
be a goal? Get the fuck out of Evershade.
Here's
Mm,
my suggestion. Prioritize suspect, or even find out who the suspects are.
Get suspects. Yeah.
See, I really want general goals as get paid because I truly feel we're not going to get paid by. Well, we're not going to get paid by our employer, and they might not get paid by us.
Imagine what happens if we can't pay everyone.
Right. We need to get the defaulting
Finding
lawyers in.
HR.
My fear is this guy was just happy to say, "Yeah, I'll pay you this," and I'm like, "He's not going to pay us. He's going to kill us."
Wasn't
How
it?
about find and
I was gonna say-
prioritize suspects?
It wasn't even Lord Tanan you spoke to. It was in fact just Theo in a fancy coat. Like He just
Yeah.
ran
Just
really
throwing
fast.
his voice, in fact. There was no
Everyone's
one here.
just,
Paying himself wages through a middleman.
It's all Theo. It's Theo
I'm
all
going
the way
to-
down.
I'm going to join you and do this for the party. Yes. Yeah.
yes.
It's a super eccentric, lonely person. Yeah,
Worst reason to do things.
yeah, true. What about our two new people? Any suggestions about general goals?
Nope.
I was thinking figure out where the wolves came from. There's some I don't know if it's what's going to happen, but something he'd want to do probably.
Okay, so that sounds like more like a personal goal between Walter and Samuel, though, right? Because that was like your personal stuff. I know you've spoke about it for the group, but like, if you can convince the group to take that on parallel to the package, sure, right?
Sorry, I misheard you. I thought you asked us about what personal goals we thought.
No, just there's a blank general goal just now for the team. So
No, that's my bad. Sorry, mate.
no, we'll cover that as well. For
Can we? What about a save?
Christmas.
yeah,
No,
Because
well,
I mean, meta we know, right?
Yeah.
In character we don't know he's in danger, but out of character we
I mean,
know.
in the meta, you don't know if he's in
potential
danger or not, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
we could reasonably say that we need to retrieve him.
like it would be like recover him from Lady Tonan's clutches, right? That would be the goal, though, that you could write in.
Well,
but I feel that's unsolvable because we know he has escaped. So,
yeah,
But you don't.
these goals
We
are
don't
out of
know.
character, right?
well, we don't.
know
True.
that we know.
But they have to be
Yeah,
things your
we
characters
can't
can achieve, though, right?
Yeah.
We could always to say ascertain whether or not Fleabit is safe.
I mean, that's probably just a never-ending goal, though, right? Like,
Well,
at what point does he qualify as safe enough for the
Emotion-
goal?
Emotionally, he is never safe.
Right? Fair. And who amongst us, right? But what is the most? Right. So, say when you all leave this pub, what's the first most important thing to do?
Go to the toilet.
Nope. Besides that.
Figure out who took the package.
So
Get
Figure
food.
out who we think should be first looked at in terms of.
Yeah, sources.
That's kind of what I was going for anyway.
and they got a better idea than try and find some suspects.
Speak to. See, I want to say the best person we've got is. I keep forgetting his name. Bear with me. Stobard.
Theo, by the way. Go ahead.
Stobard, right? Okay. Why do you
See,
think? So
Stobard-
the butler did it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he's probably the best person to know Lord Tonan's most rivals. No, like if we could get him kind of bevied up in a way.
Okay. Yeah, you could try and get him wrecked. Yeah.
Yeah, he might spill the beads about his employer and all that sort of
Give him
jazz.
some tea.
Some flea bite tea. Yep.
I mean, there's a reason for Fleabite's tea right there. We just need to get Fleabite
Okay.
before we
So
get him.
there's two options, right? So bevy up and press for information. Charleston Stobard, the butler, or go looking for suspects, like find and prioritize suspects between, like, I guess, the noble houses, according to Vanger. Anybody else get another option? Or is this what we're picking between?
That's fine with me.
Which one do you like best?
The finding out which noble family.
Okay. Everybody else?
See, I would say I will argue Stobard's probably better to will out some of the noble families because there's a lot of noble families, and he might cut that search list down to like 5 instead of 20.
I don't know. To me, the butler seems like a stubborn asshole who's not going to say a goddamn word.
Agreed.
No, but we get him shit faced. Or
You could do
we-
two things, right? You could shelf one of these
He
goals.
could be teetotal.
True.
You could shelf one and then
Yeah, that's fair. We
Right.
could put him first, try him. If it doesn't work, move on to the other.
or
That's true.
have a team go deal with him and have another team deal with the gathering of the.
Yes, deal with him. I see.
Split the party.
I mean, again, yes, because Fleabite's still
where-
away.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
do you know
Sorry?
where the package was stolen from? Like, is it possible to go back investigate that scene and then see
Yeah.
facts and stuff?
So, gang, just want to answer that.
Well, we probably could go back, right? It's
Yeah.
going to be a bit of a How long was it? How
Oh,
far was it?
It was only like a couple of days, right?
Right. So it's a trek, but we can do it.
And
The
that
only thing is that we hadn't come upon it immediately. Like a little bit of time had passed. And now obviously a couple more days will have passed.
Mm.
By the time we get there, I'm questioning.
You've
how
also
worthwhile it
moved
would be,
stuff
but-
and made a camp
Yeah.
there
I mean, you say
and
move
buried the
stuff.
bodies.
So just
That's
like
well true.
I would say
Yeah.
that crime scene slash. I think it's done. Like I don't think we'd get in from that.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, it's just too far away because we're now in the city.
Think we did investigate it a bit at the time.
Yeah.
Had we realised its significance, which perhaps we should have, we may have investigated it further.
I don't know. We
Oh, wow.
investigated the tree falling, and there wasn't really any to be found from dead corpses because they didn't have any
Investigating
possessions.
corpses.
Yeah, like unlike the undead.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh no, like I didn't know where it was. Like that was me just asking where it was. And all
That was good. As I said,
Yeah.
it was good. It was a good thing
Yeah,
to bring
no,
up.
no.
It's an
Yeah.
important question.
Yep.
We need to
Yeah.
be on the same page because we didn't really discuss that in the session. But
Nope.
I mean, again,
That's cool.
some things are probably a bit.
Yeah.
They're easier to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, so if we ruled that one out for now at least, right? Because definitely that crime scene's contaminated vastly. But any other suggestions, or are we going to go between prioritize suspects or like find suspects and prioritize them, and or bevy up Mr.
Well, I
Stopard?
say bevy up. Like interrogate.
Oh, I get what you
Stopard.
mean by that. Yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah.
it for simplicity here.
Beat 'em with a tanker.
So, because keep in mind, you can still do both if you just shelf one of your other general goals.
That's true. Well, we've got two about the package. Like find the missing package and find out what the package was. I'd say shelf the find out what the package was because I feel those two are connected.
I would say
Nah.
they're definitely connected, both being about the package.
The package, yes.
But you probably could find out what it is when you've got a better idea of
Let's just ditch
what it
the
is.
first one to learn more about bars.
Well, that could move to your personal goal if need be as well, right? Like you could put that in the
Yeah.
ideas pile for now, and then swap it out later if you think that's more important than your save face one.
Yeah, let's get rid of that one and then just put both.
That's your job then.
I was confirming with the group.
Instead of the conference.
Rightio. Well then we've got two goals to slot in, unless anybody's got any other suggestions for generals.
Happen.
Right, pop in the options then.
How many are we left with in general?
So we've got two slots, one for a Stobard and one for.
Yeah.
So word them well, folks, and then we'll hopefully get you some more XP.
So I think we can put the find and prioritize suspects in then if the Barris one is out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll stick that in at the.
Ryan, you happy with that?
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like in brackets, get them shit faced.
Interrogate.
Yeah.
Is that not how you spell interrogate? I can't spell.
No,
Isn't it like something like that?
It's alright.
interrogate.
It's
I think that's one too many R's.
interrogate.
I mean, not the way he'll do it. I am just saying. But
How
yeah.
dare you, sir? I use Google.
Oh, I lied. That is correct.
Is it good? I'm
I
glad.
use Google to actually get the interrogate word.
That's fine.
Anyway, so regardless of
Oh, yes,
that, we've got
If
find and
the right-
prioritize the suspects. Yep, find. We don't need to specify that more. That seems good enough. Yeah, okay. Now, personal goals. Adair, what are we putting in for you?
Ooh.
Cass, you keeping yours for safe face with Lord Tanan?
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay, cool. Fleabite, you got one yet?
And I'm just trying to think of one that is applicable to the wolves. I'm really wondering. Like I'm
Join
very,
Wolfpack? Question mark.
I really feel can
Back
wolves
on
teach
both
tea?
back. No, probably not. I mean, yeah, probably, but no.
And can you teach them tea?
But I don't care if they know tea. I want them to know.
is if a wolf howls in the woods.
Samuel, any idea for a personal goal? I know we spoke briefly about it before.
I think he'd actually probably would be very just interested in exploring the wolves. The whether that's going to happen or not, who knows? But I think at the moment that's probably his
Yeah.
most.
You can put that in if you want. That's something like, discover source or cause of unnatural wolves. Yeah,
I say that and survive these crazy people he agreed to.
it's a
work
bad
with.
goal. Don't do that.
More about.
Don't do that one. Just don't. You'll never get it. Yup. Because the only time it's never relevant is when you die. So yeah. The qualifiers are
Survive
important.
is a long-term goal.
But if you pop in, discover source or cause of the unnatural wolves, that's definitely valid. Yeah, there's a very definitive end to that one, which I like. Walter?
I have no idea for goals.
No, that's okay. You don't have to yet. As I said, you can sit and ruminate if need be. Just.
Can I put something in there about proving my skill with the sword to Vanger, who obviously doubts my
do you mean a dare?
finesse with the rapier?
That was a
Yes.
dare. Yeah.
You can do it, but it is definitely the qualifier would become a dare for the goal. But that's fine. You can do that if you want. Yeah.
Right, have a wee friendly duel. I'm happy with that.
Well, I think it's more just because of like proving his skill to you with the blade, not necessarily against you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, making sure he's worth his money.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Roll him 20 gold a day's worth of rapierness.
It's 10 times the going rate for a normal person, a skilled hireling. Adair, anything else now?
What's that?
Unfortunately, I just can't think of anything right now. Guys, help!
Yeah, to get any
What about
suggestions
something
from?
with your brain problems?
No, those are far too complicated. That will never be
Okay,
achieved.
sorry.
Find a way to pay everyone you've promised payment.
I promised nothing. Find the best way out of Evershade in case this deal falls through. I don't know.
Maybe pay your debts to the other group in general.
I have no debts to anyone else in this group.
Fleabite, I think I'm going to comment on your personal goal, right? I think I'm going to comment on it. Because it's literally like, so before I get eaten, mister, what's your name?
Which is a goal.
No.
It's hijack, man.
I think taking information about wolves to... Yeah, there we go. There's a perfect one, right? Find a way to remove the... I like to say necklace, but it's definitely a collar.
Find a way to remove the bling from his neck.
Help.
Collar's just a necklace when you're a dog.
There you go. Got you.
Or into that kind of thing. No kink shit.
I mean, I don't think Fleabite wears a necklace, so it's going to be kind of tricky, right?
Fleabite does wear a necklace, actually.
I mean, like his amulet.
No.
Yeah.
What then?
His pet rock that he had
Oh, that's got a collar, apparently.
Alvin turn into a necklace.
Oh yeah, it's very shiny. Yep. Yep, with his green jelly stone stuck into it.
And the lace part,
Sorry, I'd completely forgotten about
and the
it until
lace is
now.
made out of students.
Yeah, Fleabite has a green jelly
Wow.
stone. It's more like a gummy bear. That he got set into a necklace by. So it wasn't your pet rock. It was. I think you still just have a pet rock. It was just you had a
It's
medallion.
a rock.
You put your.
I have a
gem.
lot of just random things.
You have too much of it. I also have a robe of many
Brat.
fucking useful, was it the robe of useful items as well, in addition to this bullshit? So, yeah, lots of shit. But anyway, none of this helps Adair get a personal goal, so...
Unfortunately, I am timed out, is what I'm going to say. I will come up with one for next week.
Okay, no problemo. That's fine. Nothing specific that Adair wants to achieve while in Evershade, maybe separate to all this nonsense?
Did you ever get a heavy crossbow?
No, I naturally developed long range stuff.
Yeah, it's very reliable, Chill touch.
Oh shit! Maybe I do need a better range
But keep in
crossbow.
mind,
'cause
buying weaponry is not a goal.
yeah.
Building your own is a goal. Buying it, no.
Stealing one?
I mean,
Acquiring / stealing.
too broad. Have a think about it. You can let me know
yeah.
midweek if you come up with something as well.
Certainly.
Mhm.
If I have free time, which I totally have free time.
As I said, if that was my qualifier for
Yeah.
that. That was me just.
Thank you.
Know, yep. So anyway,
Yeah.
but if that's the case, we'll just jump straight into. I'm assuming all the goals are done. Going once, going twice. Good.
Good.
So let us deal with the wrap up chats now. Do you want to start us off there?
Yes. So wrap up. There's new folk in the party, and they're getting underpaid. I mean, no, it's great to see. Tonight was great. Got to chat to some new folk. Discovered that Evershade, as fancy and hoity-toity as it's led out to be, has a weather spoons / whatever it was.
The withered spoon. Yeah.
Withered spoon. So no matter where you go in the world, there's always that shitty little pub. Really enjoyed it. Achieved. Actually, we did get some goals ticked off the list.
Yep. I think before we go any further, in fact, I should probably say every day add 1,500 to your XP total before I forget to say it. Because it was 3 goals that got completed.
15 over
Was that
500s.
3?
Yep, 3 goals, 1,500. Because it was these are level 5, so it's 500 XP each. Because it's 100 times your level. Each goal.
So that brings us to 11,575.
12. Right?
I've got 11. I've got 11575 just to
Okay.
plainly.
I thought we got 500 experience from the very first session.
So at the moment,
Sorry,
right,
my first
your
session.
total should be 10,075. That should be your current total. Or is it not?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what it
And
was
the-
before.
And then you're adding
okay.
1,500 to that. Yes.
I apparently missed one then.
Okay.
So
So it's 11575.
Ah! What happened there? Why did my screen flash?
thank you.
I have
Unless
no
I have
idea why
miscounted,
rolled
but I think that is what those numbers are.
It is.
My simple
That's-
addition is
that's-
pretty bad. So.
Cool. I'm now level 20. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
amazing! You have to leave now.
Oh no!
No one man should have all that power.
Yep.
It's
But
a
anyway,
dare. He won't remember he has all that.
this is also true. But yes, so 11575 is whatever these XP totals should read as. Good. Everybody updated their XP totals, and then please continue your wrap up chat there, unless you're.
Great to have some new faces / voices. Can't wait to actually see what you guys do, because Adair, as much as he is confident and does have good numbers, when it comes to being in a battle, you'll just find him running around a lot, not doing a lot. That's more to do with the rolls of his dice than anything else. But no, I can't wait to actually see what these guys are made of.
Yes, Arnie, thank you. Perfect. Theo, do you want to go next?
I'm sorry he's an asshole. I am excited to get out of Evershade.
Good luck. They're here for a week, I think. So.
Well, I mean, whatever. I could at least change. But yeah, a good session. Welcome new people.
Mhm.
You guys integrated well considering the conditions.
Don't know what you're implying. Those conditions are called Adair and Vigor. How dare you?
I do not accept.
That's fine.
But yeah, that's about it. That's
Yeah, no, good enough. Thank you. Fleabite.
So that was very good fun. I
How are you enjoying your own campaign, by the way?
Yes. I did swither with like staying in the place. So it was kind of more like curiosity and
Mhm.
and the like there was enough kind of worrying vibes, I think, from Glint, that even
Psycho.
even someone with Fleabite's terrible sense of anything, probably best for survival to get out of there. And so I presume there's going to be terrible retribution for that, but it completed a goal.
That's the main thing. Let's face it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, like I was quite happy to like I've had that spell, Expedious Retreat. That was like the first spell that I took, but I've never actually used it because I felt it was actually quite apt for Fleabite the coward.
Yeah.
And or Fleabite the
I love how you say you're
terrible.
useless and terrible and all that jazz. You've been awesome. Yes, you'll hide in a tree for 5 minutes, but then you'll kick ass.
Yeah, but that all like the possibilities in my head. It's like I could just run away now and leave.
What he means when he does his intro is that Alexander has the terrible thoughts of abandoning everyone to their fate.
Yes. Actually, I do suddenly remember that time he's like, see off the map that I can't see. Can I go that way? And you're like, no.
Weirdly, your vision stops. The map doesn't continue. Weirdly, yeah.
There's a cloud there, right there.
But yeah, that's sort of partly why I take, and I do like being able to take spells like that ultimately that you can use in a sort of narrative space like that. So I really quite appreciate that sort of thing.
That's
and
good.
I did hope that if if there had been some sort of encounter, I would rather have sort of the narrative space to not be an exhausted wreck and instead just be spellless. And I feel like that was...
Yeah, it was a good trade, right? Use up your magic energy, not your physical energy, yeah? Makes sense.
Because the magic energy would have just been two hellish rebukes anyway.
Yeah, which have been glorious up until now, granted.
And I mean, it felt fairly apt that trying to use the advantage on the wisdom save failed anyway, whereas not actually bothering with like the dex save, and then that works fine.
Yep, perfect. Yep,
so that felt like
that was good.
That the Fleabite came through the rolls no matter what. And yeah, I'm excited to see how difficult it's going to be to extricate Fleabite from the various like mounting issues, like the being chased by Glint, having this collar, and now there's like Fenrir just saying hello. So, will the adventures of Fleabite continue? Find out next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of fun, and glad to sort of hear the new guys, and just sort of, if you think Adair and Vanger are difficult,
you haven't met the whole party.
I'm not saying that I split you up for an easier intro deliberately. I'm just saying that it was convenient that you happened to not be near each other for a while.
Yeah, great session as always. Thanks.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you. Right, Samuel.
Yeah, it was really cool meeting everyone. Thing is, yeah, it's amusing playing a human character in a human-filled place who then has a whole very interesting trope of individuals through the door.
Yeah, super rare ancient race of people, and then a dwarf. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. It was really nice meeting everyone. It was fun trying to figure out how he'd react, because it was a very complex situation with a person who does not like complexity and prefers cutting through the bullshit. I think he's very successfully argued himself out of any money.
which ultimately was simpler, right? So you achieved that, which was good.
That's kind of it. I think it was just like I just want to know what the hell's happening. But yeah, it would be really fun to see how. I think it'd be interesting seeing being part of the party as we attempt to investigate, and play detectives.
Mhm.
I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah, should be good. Excited. Anything else you want to add, bud? You good?
Oh, yeah, no, this was a lot of fun meeting everyone. And getting to join up.
No problem.
And yeah, it seems to have worked out really nicely. That there is an easy way to kind of merge both myself and Walter into the story.
I mean,
Really cool.
it's definitely. I would say it's happened, which is good. Yeah.
Sometimes it's like he's doing all of this on purpose, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wait a minute, I feel attacked.
It's like you planned this all.
But speaking of nice segues into Vanguard.
Yes, that is a segue. Anyway, no, it wasn't intended as such. But yeah, no. So it was obviously nice to meet two new people this session. And I look forward to seeing how the dynamic unfolds. Obviously, I think it was a little bit of a tense first meeting, wasn't it? I mean, with Samuel was sort of coming up and kind of confronting us over the
See, I like
strange
that.
arrangements, and I'm not saying I didn't like it, I'm just saying it was kind of tense,
It's more real, man.
It's real. Yeah, I like the lost.
I'm glad
Anyway,
you said something rather than stayed quiet.
yes,
And
Yeah.
just like arbitrarily accepted the deal, even though
yeah,
Samuel wouldn't.
That is
Yeah,
specifically why I
something
said
you
you do not need.
do
You
what
can
your
literally
character
just
does.
go off and argue that if you wish. Like, there's no point
Yeah,
not doing
very
it. I am.
Yeah, I just didn't want to check, I guess, before. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, again, I'm very much not in the school of disruption for what my character would do, but also there is also what a normal person would do. And I don't understand any of this bullshit, like, tier-based structure you've implicated. I'm going to talk to who's paying you, right? Like, that's. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. Yeah, makes
No,
sense.
and as I say, that was by no means meant as a negative comment, just an observation.
Oh,
That
no,
it was tense, and that's cool. We're allowed to, have characters that don't instantly gel, and it will be interesting to see how it unfolds because they're clearly all very different people. Although obviously, Theo was sort of the contact point here. He's quite distinct from either of you, and you're both very distinct characters from each other. And as you no doubt have noticed, Vanguard and Adair are pretty different too.
Wait,
So there's-
what?
Yeah, there's a lot of different personalities in the mix.
And
it'll be
Fleabite.
intriguing. And Fleabite, no less. So it'll be intriguing to see how that unfolds going forward.
Fleabite turns up in town on the back of a wolf, like
No, it was a good one. I like
waves.
Just
I like
throwing
doing
money around.
little character bits. As much as I like, probably even more than I like getting to the nitty gritty of story. Like half the time, for me, the best bits are the bits where you just get to explore characters a little. So that was a lot of fun for me, and I look forward to getting to know yourselves and your characters better in future.
Very good, yeah. And last but not least, Walter.
I think it was a good introduction, wasn't it? We sort of got to get our characters' personalities across, and it was a frosty introduction, and we didn't immediately like strangers we met in a Wyther'd spoons.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm confused as whether it's a church or a pub, or a church and a pub, in which case, like, it's probably not a god that I would even consider worth praying to. But there we go. I'm quite looking forward to Walter being able to prove himself to this group of people, but also evaluate their, well, not so much their skills, maybe their morality.
Oh, good luck.
So I'm looking forward to getting into a tense situation, which can do that.
I can't wait till it's just you and Fleabite in a situation. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that happen.
I mean, I feel like we know it's going to happen, right? It's almost like Fleabite's met some unnatural wolves that seem to make me think of somebody's backstory a little bit, which I can't think whose, but it'll come to me eventually.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it's almost like the divergent convergent, But anyway, anything else, Walter? Or good?
No, I'm
good.
quite happy with everyone's characters coming across.
Good. Yeah. Well, thank you all for playing. That was a lot of fun. This is probably the most on time we've ever finished, so let's make the most of it. Say goodbye to everybody. Bye, everybody.
Go
Bye,
with-
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.